kicking it.
And Rosenberg.
Go look at Redford in that movie right now. You'll want to hook up with him. This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Oh, it's 301 of the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. It's good to be back in the seat. It's good to be with my guys, although Peter is flying, hurling himself to Saudi Arabia. So it's just me and Alan in exchange for just Alan and Peter yesterday as I was continuing my my tour of Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Detroit, or like they like to say in Canada, Detroit.
Detroit.
As we had to divert to other places in order to eventually get back to New York, and unfortunately I had to miss the show, but hopefully you were able to get through without me. I did listen to a portion of it in transit. You guys sounded fantastic, talking about two wonderful championship games.
It was that's one of the easy days, you know, coming right out of championship weekend. You got two games to talk about. You got all the Super Bowl stuff to preliminary-wise, you know. So while you were missed, if there was ever a day we could survive, of course, without your wealth of knowledge and your amazing voice, it would have been yesterday.
Well, I appreciate
but you were
that.
definitely missed.
Well, and I miss doing it, too, because there was a lot to discuss, a lot to go over. And I'm not one of these guys that feels like, let's rewind history because I wasn't here to talk about it in real time. But just to take a second, I thought the games were great. And I don't know what is so aesthetically pleasing about snow in football, but it just is. So when I was done with the Devils and the Kraken, I turned around and just sat in the booth before we left to eventually go to Detroit and watch the snow. And then I thought that was great. And just having, again, these coaches feel like I got to go for it on fourth down. I got to prove my manhood and leave points on the table, which
love this.
For whatever reason Denver felt like they had to do and probably cost them the game. And then the second game was just wonderful in every essence of the back and forth and so many different adversities achieved and overcome by both teams. And I got a chance to watch that on the flight to Detroit. It was pretty stunning. And the one thing I will say before we move on to the Knicks, and we've got a lot going on with the Jets and everything, is as aesthetically pleasing as it is to watch football in the snow, when you get a fast track and when you get points getting scored, you really feel like the best of the best is going to come out of games like that. So as much fun as the second half was to watch Denver and New England, the better football was coming out of Seattle, and I think the best team is Seattle, and I actually give New England no chance in the Super Bowl.
None chance.
None chance.
Wow.
They won't be able to score against the Seattle team. They don't have it, in my opinion. They're great. They're a great team for the now. This is not a historically great team. Seattle's not a historically great team. We've discussed this time and time again, Alan, that this is not that type of season.
Yep.
But New England is here a little too quick, in my opinion. I think they will be a great team, and they will have their time. But I think just Seattle's just more ready for this moment, not because they've got more experience, but because I think they've got a defense that will come up big against the New England team that I just don't think is ready to put up the points necessary to beat the Seahawks.
You know, we mentioned this yesterday. Again, New England getting to the Super Bowl this quickly. For Mike Vrabel, that's a feather in the cap. To turn to completely flip a record like you did, to take – and I thought, you know, and again, you as a Giants fan, this is kind of where you take heart, right? You look and you say, it can be done. You bring in an experienced coach who can get you organized. You have some pieces already in place. Again, Drake May, Jackson Dart, you can put them sort of on the same plane of, you know, anticipation of a quarterback you think could be your future. And if you get organized and you have the quarterback, you can turn things around pretty quickly. So while as a Jets fan you just want to throw up in your mouth because the Patriots are back before you could even get yourself in the playoffs, you know, for the Giants, that's kind of the blueprint right there. That's why you brought in John Harbaugh.
Well, both of these teams can say that in the sense that they've got the right coach and they found the right quarterback for right now. I mean, Sam Darnold, an amazing quarterback? No, but he's perfect for what they do.
He played great.
And he did. He played great, and he went up against a future Hall of Famer, matched him score for score, and they won the game. And the thing that just I'm apprehensive about New England is I don't want to get on their schedule during the regular season. You play who you play.
Yep.
But in the postseason, and they earned the bye, they took on a Houston team that had a quarterback that performed as bad as any quarterback has ever performed in a postseason game.
Right.
And they were able to overcome their quarterback not really doing anything because the quarterback on the other side was way worse. And then in the championship game, they're taking on a backup quarterback. And some interesting decisions by Denver, leaving points on the table, but then obviously things got compromised with the snow. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They did what they had to do. But I look at Seattle, and I just think Seattle's a better team. And it's going to be interesting to see Sam Darnold as the Super Bowl champion. We'll see what New England can do. And I've been wrong before, but that's the sense I got, Alan. I had that sense going in.
Yeah.
And I doubled down on it watching these teams in the championship game. I just think Seattle's the better team.
Yeah, I could say, again, their defense is good. Almost gave the game away because of a silly personal foul that was unnecessary with taunting. You didn't want to see it turn there, but no, I think right now everybody has that same feeling, and it'll continue to be that Sam Darnold, can he really do it kind of question. You know, he answered the question in the championship game. He's going to have to answer it again because you got to feel like the only way they struggle is if Sam has – look, I am so happy to see him playing at this level. I don't have any, any frustration or any pettiness about the fact that he's a former Jet because the Jets moved on from him, but he also was passed by 3 other teams, including Minnesota, that decided they already had a quarterback. In Minnesota, they should be ruined the day, not in New York. They have enough, but Jets have enough problems, and we'll get to those.
Well,
but to me, it's a really good story. And how about, again, this is the script and also the Hollywood ending. The team that he famously said, I'm seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah.
He gets to face them in the Super Bowl. And imagine if he overcomes that. How that, we're going to hear about that ad nauseum, of course. But that just, again, there's your bow. Like there's your full circle for a quarterback. And there's your example sometimes of you draft someone that you know he's got something, but it's going to take a while. We got to get him there. That sometimes we can't. Why do we do this in the NFL? Where within 2-3 years, if the quarterback you draft in the first round just isn't helping you win yet, we got to move on. I don't want to have to pay the 5th-year option. I don't want to have to give him a contract, blah, blah, blah. It just always becomes just throw the baby out with the bathwater instead of, you know what? No, we got our guy. We know there's something here. We're going to keep working on it. Right. We're going to keep working with him, and he's going to turn into something because we believe in it, and we believe in our process. That doesn't happen, especially not with the Jets.
And we'll get to the Jets in a second because there's a lot of things going on there, a lot of moving parts. The bigger story seems to be this Giannis stuff, which I feel like it's a flex for our show, but more a flex for Alan because Alan's been on top of the Giannis disgruntled in Milwaukee and the Knicks, whether they will or whether they won't make a deal in season for him. I feel like we've been on top of this for weeks, and when something breaks with Giannis, I feel like we've been there and done that already.
Yeah.
How many we've been on top of this story more than anybody else because
how many times do you read? How many times do you see these stories and you read it, and then you're like, "Yeah, I knew that already." Right?
Right.
But that's not. I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying, like, it is funny that we've kind of we've hit this stuff, and then once it makes the cycle on the national level, everybody starts getting excited about it again.
But you've been on top of how difficult it is to make deals like this in season. But Giannis is making it tough, man. Like, he clearly wants out. Now, he's hurt right now.
Yeah.
So making a deal for him now before the deadline could really hurt your season right now. But the reason the door kind of kicks open, despite these 2 wins in a row, is the fact that Knicks fans maybe aren't feeling this season based on how they played outside of the blowout against the Nets and the win against the Sixers a couple of days later. The way we felt about it a couple of weeks ago when they were the second-best team in the Eastern Conference and feeling like they were destined to make a run.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what Knicks fans feel now where it looks like Detroit's for real. It looks like the Knicks have some issues. It looks like Cat's just going to be this for the rest of the year. This is no longer what's up with Cat. This is what Cat is, it feels like. That I'm wondering now, are Knicks fans a little bit more in position here? Or more importantly, are the Knicks more in a position here to possibly contemplate making a deal at the deadline if it's possible?
No, I'll say it again for the people in the back because this is what I've been repeating since the season started, since the rumors about Giannis wanting to be a Knick, the Knicks and the Bucks talking in late summer, seeing if they could find a deal, not coming to a deal, and then Giannis coming into the season clearly frustrated. Right. I'm here right now, and all that stuff, saying he's never going to ask for a trade, which is really code for I don't want to be the bad guy, but everybody in that organization knows that I want to move on. It's the same thing. If Giannis wants to be a Knick, Giannis has to make that happen. The Knicks don't have the same amount of assets that other teams that might be available or might be interested in him. They have more to offer. He doesn't have a no trade. All he has is I can opt out. I can go to free agency in another year from now. And a team might have him short term. We've seen the Toronto Raptors say, we don't care. We're making the trade for Kawhi, and we're going to see if we can make it work. And maybe he'll want to stay here if he likes it. He won a championship. He didn't stay, but they got a chip out of it. So It worked out well for the Raptors. There could be another team that thinks that way and says, I'm going for it anyway. I don't care, and we'll see where it goes when it's time for Giannis to walk. So Giannis can't control that, but he can if he tries to work with the Bucks and with the Knicks and say, I just want to go there. Let's make this happen. So I want to make that clear. This is not really – of course it's up to the Knicks to decide if they want to go ahead with a trade that's going to cost a lot in season. I've talked about how difficult it is to make a trade of that magnitude, and you're shaking up your roster. As you said, Don, a month ago, leaving Vegas – the consensus among fans and a lot of other people was, oh, no, don't mess with this team. Leave it alone. This team deserves to be kept together and see how far they can go. Then they go through a 2-9 stretch over 11 games, and now there's this concern that it's all heading in the wrong direction, and you got to get them while you can. I feel it's damned if you do and damned if you don't, Don, because we know a trade for a guy like this could affect your season immediately. And here's one more thing now I'm going to throw on the fire. You ready for this?
Yep.
So here's Giannis now. As we know, he's out again with a calf strain. Second time this season he's dealing with a calf strain. And they're saying 4 to 6 weeks that he'll be out, which goes well beyond the trade deadline, well beyond the All-Star break. He described the injury as this. This is a direct quote. I felt like I couldn't explode. I could jog. I couldn't get on my toes. So I was kind of jogging on my heel the majority of the game. I didn't have the same explosiveness, but I still felt like I could help. At the end, when it popped, I had to get out. I couldn't walk. End quote. Calf strain, twice in one season. We know there's a history there.
Of course.
So, does that even give you now cause for pause? Does that make you go, hang on a second? I make a trade for this guy. He comes back. We get to the playoffs. And, you know, what happened to Lillard, what happened to Halliburton, what happened to Durant, that happens. And now what? I gave up all the assets. I gave up. I messed up my roster. I took some depth away. I lost any more picks that I might have had. And now this guy's out for another year? So, he's 31. So, that's why I say you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If he goes to another team and he doesn't get hurt and he plays great, yeah, you'll never get him again. But that's a risk now, right now, for the Knicks. But so what do you do? What do people want? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, again, when we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, the want was, let's ride it out. This team looks great. They don't need him this year. Let's wait and assess things during the offseason. But now, it looks like you've lost Cat. They have won a couple of games in a row for the first time in forever. But we'll see how sustainable that is. They got a couple of back-to-back games here.
Yep.
They've got a few games before we get to the deadline. But I'm starting to feel like, listening to the other shows, in the morning show, I'm hearing people calling up. There was one guy called up and said, I'd do it right now, even though he can't play. We need him. Get him. Don't let Pat Riley swoop in and schmooze him into staying in Miami and we never get him. But you are getting a damaged product this year, at least. Yes. Somebody that could damage your chances of making a run this year. And also the element of, okay, let's say he survives this year. Is that an Achilles waiting to pop in the playoffs or at the beginning of next year? And then you lose him for all of that season and on top of some of 27, 28. I mean, it's scary. But I do think the way the Knicks are playing right now does hedge the bet just a little bit. Because maybe this season seems more easier to sacrifice for fans because it hasn't been what they thought it was going to be over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, the last couple of weeks really have shown the weaknesses. Some of the moves that the front office made to the bench were Yabusele and Clarkson that has clearly neither guy has been playable in the eyes of Mike Brown, and that's something that's obviously a concern. Listen, Don. I will throw this in as complete speculation because I'm always curious about stuff like this. And it's like, what are the odds or what are the chances that this is part of the scheme to scare away anyone else and say, oh, the calf bothered me again, when in reality maybe it's not that serious, just to make – like, how else do you angle your way to a team than an injury that he had earlier in the season? You could tell he's miserable. They're losing a lot. That's like the only redeeming thing is if you have some information. Now, a lot of this stuff would be collusion. There'd be a lot of trouble with this. But it's the only thing that you could use to say, no, we know he's actually fine. But to trade for somebody who's dealing with a calf strain twice, he's 31, in the midst of a season that you know it's going to really cost you, it's a lot. And that's why I've never said this is easy. From day one, I've told everybody, guys, you can get out your NBA trade machine and you can create all the different moves and machinations you want and say, see, it'll work. Yes, it'll work, but to what expense? I saw one scenario, Don, that someone created on a Substack. It was a very interesting one. It's been picked up by other NBA people, Mark Stein, Zach Lowe. They've put it out there, and now it's become like a living, breathing thing. And all it was a suggestion that you involve Portland, because Portland, with the Lillard trade, has some of the Bucks' future draft picks. And so you give the Bucks back their picks from Portland. Portland has this alleged interest in Mikal Bridges. And you would not only get Giannis, but you would also get Drew Holiday. Now, Drew Holiday on the surface sounds like, wait, there's a guy that's won a championship, tough player. That's exactly what you need, another point guard. That's great. Until you look at Drew Holiday's contract.
Right.
He's under contract over $35, $36 million, not just this year, next year, and a player option when he's 37 years old for $37 million. Is that what you're doing? And then you lose a starter if you're moving on from Bridges. Who's starting now? Who's starting next to Brunson?
Right.
So there's a lot of things that sound nice until you look at it on face value. And that's why Bobby Marks, who I have great respect for, who works for us at ESPN, is our front office insider, when he tries to explain to people, like, difficulty factor for the Knicks out of 10 is an 8 to make this deal happen. There's other teams where it's like a 2. Like Detroit, speaking of which, right? Like OKC. There's places Giannis can go and win right away and make a difference, and they can make the trade without even blinking. So that's something that I'm curious about before this deadline as well. But it's not as easy as everybody wants to make it out, that the Knicks could just do like what you said, that caller said. Oh, I would do it right now. You can't afford to lose them.
Right.
He might not be able to afford to get them, for all we know.
No, there's just so much up in the air about this thing. But there's also a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. Yes. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings.
Love it.
Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM844681, MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit, ends 2/2/26. Ian Begley was on the morning show today, DNR, and he was asked the question, How surprised would you be if the Knicks took a big swing before the deadline?
I would not be super shocked because, again, I don't think they want to do it. But if your edict is we have to make the NBA Finals, and let's say there's more evidence between now and I don't know, was there 6-5 games? Between now and the deadline, and you look shaky, can you take that chance that this team is going to pull it together on its own as currently constituted when you've seen for the past X amount of weeks that hasn't been the case? Do you take that leap of faith, or do you decide to totally dismantle things because you know you have to reach where they have to reach this season? And so that's why I wouldn't be surprised, because the bar is where it is. You have to act accordingly, and that would be making a big move at the deadline.
And you see, he's saying that obviously because a couple of weeks ago, James Dolan was on, did a radio interview, and on it he said that he expects to get to the finals, and that's what he wants. And at the start of the season, and through December, there was this feeling that this team could do it. So is that a pressure from saying that is created? Is it a manufactured pressure that doesn't really exist inside? Because he has always said that it's up to Leon Rose. It's what Leon Rose wants.
Right.
You can make deals. And by the way, it doesn't mean they're not going to do anything at the trade deadline. It's 10 days from today, Don, and I can tell you that they will do something. Because they already know that Yabusele doesn't fit. They got to get him out of here. They could probably get something more useful for him. And the Clarkson thing has not worked great either. They could make subtle moves that aren't going to be the headline of, like last year when the Lakers got Luka, right? Getting Giannis would be of that magnitude. We know this. But they could still say, we're not in that business right now. We can't be, because what we need to do instead is get some, is get better wing play off the bench, get some bigger dudes, get tougher. Can we get a couple of tough-minded players, physical guys that we need to add? They could go in that direction instead, but the problem is anything you do at this deadline that involves assets could take you out of the Giannis running, even if he's not traded at the deadline. And when you get to the summer and then he's, again, back up in the conversation, you might have nothing left in the cupboard to trade for him. So this is not easy. This is really right now the biggest moment for Leon Rose and his front office. Is what do you do, and history will tell us whether it was the right decision or not.
Well, Knick fans, there it is. Alan laid it out for you. Do you trade for Giannis now? Do you trade for something else and hurt your chances of getting Giannis? Are you interested in Giannis? Are you not? Because are you afraid that eventually this injury might, take him out? Because calves always seem to lead to the torn ACLs that end up becoming a problem. Achilles, that end up being a problem. So how do you feel about it? 1-800-919-3776. Got a big show. Talk about it Tuesday. We've got an ENN that's an Anthony Pusick vehicle, which should be amazing. Always looking forward to that. And a lot to get to. The Jets, they're looking for an OC now and a DC. Seems like they blew up the entire coaching staff, and they kept Glenn. Why? That's a question. And we're taking you up special day today. I've got Devils, Alan's got Knicks, and Peter's on his way to Saudi Arabia. So Dan Garassa is going to take over at 6:30. So it's going to be like the old K-Show days. We're taking it till 6:30, and then Garassa is going to lead you in to the Knicks. Knicks Kings tonight, Knicks Raptors tomorrow. That's what's on the table for you at 1-800-919-3776. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg take you up till 6:30 right here on ESPN New York.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Ah, the Internet, a place where your curiosity can flourish. Unless online threats stop you. The Internet is wonderful, but you need to protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. NordVPN encrypts your browsing. Its Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. Already a bad ride out there on the roads. Not moving much on the BQE westbound in Brooklyn, right before Metropolitan Avenue. Big accident blocking 2 lanes. FDNY is on the scene. You're stopped there from the Kosciuszko Bridge. Bumper to bumper on the LIE westbound in Queens. An accident in the right lane over by Casino Boulevard. Packed ride there from Utopia Parkway. Heading over to the outbound, George might want to stay away from the West Side Highway northbound. About 2 hours ago in the 120s, an SUV hit a patch of ice, went off the roadway and flipped on its side. Still doing some ongoing cleanup. You're backed up into the 50s. Inbound George looking good for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels 15 minutes each. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott.
After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he could be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Game time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Alan,
it's Tully time.
That's right. The Knicks host the Kings. Coverage immediately following Dan Gross on 880 at 7. The Devils are here at the Rock to take on the Winnipeg Jets. It is John McClain night. He is being inducted into the Ring of Honor, so I'll be a part of the pregame. Looking forward to that, because I believe, and this caused some controversy, and we can talk about it later if you wish.
I'd like to.
I believe he scored the biggest goal in Devils history. We'll leave it at that for now. And the Nets visit the Suns at 9. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Are you ready for some calls?
Yes. Let's do it.
All right, 1-800-919-3776. We begin it all with Dave in the car. How are you, Dave? You're on Don Hahn and Rosenberg.
Hey, how you guys doing? Alan, I just wanted to ask you this. This is the way I look at it. It's everybody's opinion, and everybody's got an opinion. My opinion is this. even if the Knicks were undefeated, I do not see them beating OKC if they keep the team the same way. I'm saying trade for Giannis right now. It doesn't matter if we win the championship. It doesn't matter if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't care if he's hurt. I don't care if he doesn't play one game for the Knicks this season. Same thing happened with Monroe. I told you this a long time ago. He came over injured. He had bone spurs. He didn't play the first year. Second year, they won the championship. So I'm looking at the big picture. When you get a chance to get a guy who's a superstar like this, you go and you get him now. You don't take the chance that Pat Riley scoops him up, and then next year you're wiggling around looking for somebody and trying to put a team together. You still have Hart, you still have Brunson, you still have Giannis next year, and you still have OG. You need one more piece and you're fine. Giannis is 1,000 trillion billion times better than anybody on the team, including Brunson. It's a dead heap, and you might be able to get him for less because he's injured now. I don't care if he sits out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. I don't care if he plays one game the whole season. I'm worried about the big picture, not just this season, so I can say, oh, we made a bad mistake by firing Tibbs. Or we made a good mistake by, we got to the fourth game of the OKC and we lost in 4. We lost in 5, but we made a big deal. I want Giannis today. That's it. I don't care if we have to give up Cat and Bridges. Get rid of both of those guys. Bridges is the main one who got him fired anyways. Get him out of here. That's my opinion.
Oh,
okay. Everybody else has got different opinions.
No. This is again, and Dave, like you're outlining the fact that you're trying to accumulate as much high-end talent as you can, and he's a top 3 player in the NBA at 31. When he's healthy, there's no question, right? So that's why there's an interest in him. So I understand all that. I'm telling you, it's not as easy to do in season. That I'm telling you, because the Knicks don't have a lot of things that other teams have. So they're going to have to get help, and Giannis is going to have to help make it happen. That's the only way it's quote-unquote easy for the Knicks to do. Because as Bobby Marks outlined, and you can see it on ESPN.com, there's several other teams, including teams that have a chance to play deep into June. They have more assets, and they have an easier way to get him if he isn't just fixated on, no, I want to be in New York. That's how you want to see it. Now, Monroe, by the way, for those who know the story, he was a rival of the Knicks. He didn't want to come to the Knicks. But that was the team that traded for him. And it was a risk because how does he and Clyde, how does that work? He had a money issue with the Bullets. He left the team. They said it was, he had an injury, but he really left the team because it was a money issue. And when he got traded to the Knicks, it wasn't where he wanted to go, but it was where he had to go. So the same thing could happen to Giannis. He might not go. It might not be where he wants to go, but it's where he's told to go because he doesn't have the no trade.
But let's break down what Dave was saying. Well, you got to get him at any cost. Be damned this season. We can go undefeated. We're not beating.
Well, that's
OKC.
Easy again, Don. Dave says that now. But say it to me in April because you had to completely rework the roster, gut it a little bit, and he's not available to play, and you end up losing in the first round, are you like, I don't care. Next year we're going to have Giannis. Like you can't, like, that's easy to say now until you're going through.
It is, but
and you're taking another year off of Jalen Brunson. Is that really a smart thing to do?
But here's the thing. That might be his argument. That, hey, I just want him for next year. We're not winning a championship this year. But for him to go as far as to say we can go undefeated and we're not beating OKC, well, you could have said the same thing last year before facing the Celtics.
Right.
Oh, we're not going to beat the Boston Celtics. Nobody thought you were beating the Celtics going in, all right?
Yeah.
And don't tell me about Tatum. You were beating them anyway. Even with the Tatum injury, the Knicks did not win that series because Tatum got hurt.
No, it just
right. So
they were in control.
They were in control, and who would have thought that would have happened? So how would you feel if you threw the season away, but you still were good, and you still had a chance to make the playoffs and make a run, and all of a sudden you see OKC get knocked off by Minnesota in the second round or whatever, and nobody should be in the position of throwing seasons away. Unless you're the Nets, okay? And you know you're not going anywhere.
But, Don, it's once again the desperation of, I got to get him before someone else does.
But is there that desperation, Alan? We keep worrying about Pat Riley. This guy wants to come to the Knicks. It's not like the Heat are a great team anyway. The Knicks are a better team right now than the Heat are. So Why are we so worried about Pat Riley? Why? Because the history of the Knicks of losing out on great players? That was then. This is now. The Knicks have become a destination. He wants to be a Knick. So why am I throwing a season away on just some possibility that Pat Riley's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat? Got to get out of that old Knick mentality that we always lose the face-off on great players. Nobody wants to play here, so we literally have to go kidnap somebody a year early and drug them to stay here. How about just realizing that it's become a destination now, and you don't have to throw a season away to do it?
Well, when did this all start? This all started because Giannis, through intermediaries, because he's never uttered the words himself, clearly was looking at the Knicks as his destination. He wants to be here. The only thing that we can confirm is that's a fact, and it's not something new. This has been a romance for the last couple of years. And it has been percolating behind the scenes, and then over the last year, especially after last season and the way things went for his team, he had finally had it, and I want to go there. I want to win there. I want to do it there. And so that's got to work out. And I'll say it one more time. The way this deal works is if Giannis works with the Knicks to make it happen.
Let's go to Kurt in New Jersey. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Kurt?
What's up, guys? First, I got to tell you, you guys are the best show. You mean you guys talk Knicks? You guys are the best. I'm going to tell you hands down. But here's my point. We got to make this deal now. One, it's all about windows. We're in this championship window right now. You never know what's going to happen. God forbid Brunson gets hurt a year or 2 years from now. You're one of the better teams now. But what you're going to add and again, nothing against Cat. I like Cat. I still would do that move for DiVincenzo and Randall because I think we upgraded. But, we're going to get a post player in the playoffs with Giannis. Cat outside the three-point line, that's good, but how many times in a postseason it's jump shot? Hey, if we could go Brunson, OG's a defender, Hart's a defender, Mitch is a defender, Giannis is a defender. Yeah, the two guard we're going to lose a little with Bridges, right? But, listen, Clarkson, Shamet, we don't need 30 points from that spot. We need, 10 points, 12 points, a little three-point shooter. But we can't mess around. The window is now. We need one championship, Alan. I called you last year and we were saying we can't worry about 1 year, 2 years. We got to get it now. Yeah. And we're so close. And he's a generational player. You got to gamble. We can't – if he goes to San Antonio, OKC, God forbid, of Miami, Detroit, why play with fire? Go get him. If you can get him, go get him now. Guys, you're the best. Go Knicks.
Thanks a lot. See, that's a different take that I can tolerate that take.
Right. What he's saying is why the Knicks in August talked to the Bucks about it. Right? It's why. Right. It's why they said, well, this guy's a top 3 player in the league right now. He's an all-time great. He wants to be here. Let's see what it'll take. They just couldn't come to a deal. It just couldn't do it. So, I look, I don't know anything, but if I was purely speculating, I would think that they probably will have a conversation with the Bucks before the trade deadline. Whether it results in anything, I don't know. But I know myself, if I were in that front office, I know I would say, well, if they're going to move him, let's get in the conversation and just see how much can we tolerate, how much can we handle.
Right.
We can't. You're not going to be a wallflower in that dance. Not when you know he wants to be here. So that's my feeling. Is my assurance is I know what I'd be doing, and I would be still having conversations with Milwaukee before February 5th. But it doesn't mean that I'm ready to do anything because it can really disrupt your roster, and it can also put you in a salary cap hell with the second apron and the luxury tax implications where you as a franchise cannot function. And you don't want to have a team that has 2 really good players. Remember, the Bucks had this. They had Lillard and they had Giannis. They had really not a good roster around them, and they weren't very competitive. You also don't want to be in that world either. We saw the Suns do it. They had 3 stars with Booker and KD and Beal. 3 stars, and they were awful. They got rid of 2 of them. They kept Booker. They rebuilt around them. Now what are they? They're a tough team that's hard to play against, right? So you got to be careful with this all-in feeling. if it's going to disrupt your roster to a point where you can't be competitive.
You just got to be
with
smart
players
about
around
it. I mean, I get the fans get excited, but you just got to be smart about it. You can't come after the angle of somebody might swoop in and take them away, or we've got to do it this year because next year something might happen, somebody might get hurt, the world could end, and we'll miss our championship window. Do what's right for your organization. Be smart, and so far there's no reason to believe that Leon Rose and his brain trust are going to do anything but the right thing for the Knicks. 1-800-919-3776. More of your calls on this. We've got the Jet situation, as it looks like they're looking for 2 coordinators now. Does anybody want to be here? Does anybody work at Aaron Glenn? Why is Aaron Glenn the last one standing? All of these will be answered and more coming up later on this show. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg until 6:30. Then it's Dan Graca on ESPN New York.
25th ranked St. John's looks to make it 7 in a row when they host Butler at MSG. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on the ESPN New York app.
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping into the unknown. Where are we going? To see our planet as it's never been seen before. From pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith. From National Geographic. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
You remember what it feels like to move without thinking about pain? To get up, sit up, walk, work, or live without that constant ache? If neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica took that away from you, it's time to get it back. I'm Bart Scott. Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is the guy you need. Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no scars, no long recovery, just precise, image-guided, non-surgical treatments designed to get you feeling strong again. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted, there is no reason to wait. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
Who's ready to hit the ice? Get ready for another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping into the unknown. Where are we going? To see our planet as it's never been seen before. From pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith. From National Geographic. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
See, this is Rainbow. And I just could not believe that Peter never heard of Rainbow. You know this song, don't you, Alan? This was a hit back in the early 80s. Such a good band, man.
Not ringing a bell.
Here we go. It's going to kick in any second. You're going to be like, wow, I know this song.
And then I'll know it. No, I'm being honestly.
God, it's such a good band.
It's a very classic 80s kind of sound.
God, Rainbow was so good. And for you guys not to know, it makes me sick.
Oh, I apologize. But we talked about you and music yesterday. So
was it good, bad, or indifferent?
Indifferent.
Can't be indifferent.
It was indifferent because, what we decided was, and I was reaching behind me. I was at home. I was reaching behind me on the bookshelf, pulling out just like a fistful of CDs, and then just showing the randomness of my music taste and how like you just have different types of music all kind of stuffed together in this collection. And what we figured out was why this show works. And number one, the fact that we talk a lot of music on this show is great because it shows that we're all interested in it. I don't remember that ever being part of the K show, so that's cool. But what we realized was you and Peter are on such polar opposite sides, and I'm kind of the guy that brings it all together because I relate to both of you. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm sort of the one that balances it all because, and except of course Rainbow, which I've not heard that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't sound. That's a familiar sound. That song, it's just not one that I can really relate to.
They are, they were just a classic rock kind of heavy band, and that's where Ronnie James Dio started. They kind of were an offspring of Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple.
Okay.
So they had that kind of sound to it, and they evolved. They had different members, different lead singers,
but there were a lot of that early '80s had a lot of different. Like, remember Aldo Nova?
Oh yeah, like just a fantasy.
Like there's so many of those kind of songs that exist, and you're like whatever happened to this guy? So I think there's a lot of that, and they all not that they sound the same, but they all have that same kind of sound.
But Straight Between the Eyes is the big album that you got to check out from them. Came out, I think, in 1982. Joe Lynn Turner was the lead singer. They had a million different lead singers. Joe Lynn Turner, Hackensack, New Jersey, kind of raised in Paramus, New Jersey, was the lead singer. So check it out. That's a really good song. They have so many really, really good songs. We'll get to the Jets of it all in just a second, but we're diving into the situation with the Knicks. A lot of people want to climb aboard on that, including Rodney in Hawthorne. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Rodney?
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing? It's great talking to you again. I got to say I agree with you, Alan, in regards to I don't think it's a trade that the Knicks should do now. That injury worries me. And, Don, you said the same thing. It's something that I feel like, knowing our luck, he comes here and it becomes the bigger thing. And then we're completely, left with it. And, the other thing, though, Alan, is something that I believe you said, too. If Giannis wants to come here, he's going to have to open his mouth and say it. Because you know what? I know you said he doesn't want to play the bad guy, but the guy's doing the thumbs down thing. Like,
He's bordering on that
already. Guy already.
Yeah, he's,
so just
heading there.
Just go with it. And Alan, I I'm going to throw this out there. I don't want to sound wrong in this, but I don't know. Does that worry you? Like, I know Giannis is an amazing player, top 3, top 2, top 1 player, whatever you want to say. But does that worry you that the fans booing and all that?
No.
Like, this is New York. Like, this
No.
isn't Milwaukee. We don't play that here. You know that.
Yeah, he's not.
And so
but
do
that's
you,
not
Don.
who he is.
So I don't know. I know, but it's just I want this thing to work out for us, and it is a little worrisome because it is something that it could be a possibility. I trust in Leon Rose. I do. I'm one of these fans where I'm like, you know what? In Leon Rose, I trust. We're in a really good place as a franchise right now. Okay, granted, we're not winning, we're not playing well, but who's to say that in a week or two? Oh, hey, look, that was just a blip, and the cog is back on, and it's a well-oiled machine again. You know what I mean? So
that's the
how
optimism.
I feel about it, guys.
Rodney, I love the fact that you went from the typical New Yorker of we'll make a trade and he'll get hurt because that's what always happens to us, which is very funny, but it really is how we are. We're all pessimists because it saves us from the inevitable disappointment that we all tend to have with our teams. But you're also being an optimist saying this 11 games that they lost 9. We could in April look back, go, remember that little stretch where they went through a little something and they got it right and everything's fine? Like, you never know because it's such a long season. But the Giannis, I wouldn't worry about all that stuff. His person, that's not something that will follow him here to New York. That's not a worry. It's just the cost and the impact it'll have right away. And then, Don, 2 calf strains in one season, one that it won't go away. Him talking about feeling it pop. And then he couldn't run. I'm sorry. That's where I start to go, hang on a second.
Obviously, you're going to have to give a physical, but even that sometimes, hey, listen, we know the reality.
Yep.
Calf injuries sometimes lead to Achilles. And that means losing a guy that's already, 32, 33 years old?
He's 31.
So, and maybe losing him for an entire season and then getting him back compromised. You don't want to see that happen. I understand the apprehension, but there are no guarantees in life.
No. So again, it's all about price. It's all about what it costs.
Well,
in the end,
and maybe the one thing that Dave said, even though I thought it was a reactionary call, maybe you can get him cheaper because he's hurt, is something that I think might play into doing it sooner than later.
Well, that's why if you're the Knicks, you definitely want to get on the phone. Look, in the end, it's all about trying to win a championship. And that's when it matters most, is if you can just – if you're standing there and Jalen Brunson raises a trophy and Giannis is raising a trophy with him, then it was all worth it. And Don, when a trophy's raised, it can feel like a season's over. But on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. Plenty of hoops to watch, of course. The NBA, as now the NFL season is starting to go away, this is where ESPN, this is where we are at our best. No off season, just everything a fan needs to keep going, always in season. Get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or your phone today. And Donnie, I spoke this morning with the Get Up people, the fine people at Get Up. We made our schedule for February, so it begins in just a week.
Yeah, you're going to see the pivot from the NFL to the NBA.
And I can't wait.
Get a little hockey in there, too. Why not? It's an amazing season going on.
I mean, we do cover it.
I can free myself up.
We do cover it. There's no reason we shouldn't. Especially with the Olympics, as long as there's a rink to play in.
It's a talk about it Tuesday. That was not going to be my topic of conversation. But can I do 2 in one day?
You could do whatever you want. You're Don LaGreca.
Can I take yours? Do you have one?
I got this. It's nothing major.
Because I had a nice conversation with John Forsland on Sunday, the voice of the Seattle Kraken, of course, does a great job doing hockey for TNT about the Olympics, and we're in lockstep.
Yeah.
And he had some great comments to make. But listen, we got a ways to go before the Olympics, so maybe I'll do the one that I want to do today, and I'll do the Olympic one a little bit later on. But
okay.
I'm definitely feeling a way about that. Buddha, Staten Island, you're on ESPN New York.
Hey, fellas, you got to forgive me. I'm on a bus that got a working system for some reason. I want to talk about Giannis. why is my team keep getting these players at the back end of their careers and then just try to make them look new to us? Like, it's horrible. Like, Cat's already on the back end of his career. We got Cat. We just got Cat, and now you want to blow it up again. You get Giannis. Giannis is already showing that he's starting to get hurt, and he's on the back end of his career. He's going to come here and sign for 3 years and play a half of that, and then act like, oh, it's our fault. He wants to come here, yes, because the Knicks is where we give money. It's probably a known fact around the league that the Knicks are a place where you could come and get paid and chill and not have to work and not have to get us a championship. Giannis is soft. That is soft.
Hang on.
Why do we got?
Who else did that? Who else has done that? Where they just got a check, they got the check from the Knicks and then they just chilled. What star player has done that?
No.
Dude, no, he was 28 years old when they traded for him. By the way, Cat was 29.
We traded a good team to
He was 29 years old. Cat is 30. 31 is Giannis. He's 31. That's not the back end. That's in
and he's
your
already
prime.
breaking up. Giannis has been banging his whole career. Since he's been 18, he's been banging. He's breaking up right now in front of our eyes, and we're going to get him now? That don't make sense. We have a decent team. Let's get a draft pick, and let's develop somebody young instead of getting these old people, paying them and going for these pipe dreams.
Do you guys?
God bless.
You know what it is? You know what
Thanks,
it is?
Buddha.
I think some of these fans, even Knick fans, who I thought are the more overly optimistic of the local team.
That's getting a guy that you stole him from Dallas and turned him into he's a legend in New York. That's what they did.
I tell you, I am not a psychiatrist, but I think, you know what, if I decided to pivot my life and put 10 years in, I think I could be a pretty decent psychologist, right? That guy, let's bring a young guy. Are you really afraid to compete for a championship? Is that what it is?
They want young guys.
They all want to go back in time and start them. Like they are totally what the chase is better than the catch. You know that phrase? Like, they'd rather be the team on the outside chasing it than to finally get there and maybe get hurt and lose and come up short. They'd rather go back in time and chase the ring than maybe actually have a chance to grab the ring. Mm-hmm. That's what you do with Giannis. No, we don't want a 31-year-old that's still in his prime and can be helpful. Let's go back and get a younger player. Let's go the 5-year plan, Alan, because let's go back in time. Oh, my God. Don't be afraid to love again.
Story. There's two sides of the story. Some that are saying go all in, and some that are being cautious.
But there's some that are just being way, way too cautious. Jets, a lot going on with them. Yeah. Talk about it Tuesday. A lot planned there. Coming up at 4:30. We got Ian at 6. Don on Rosenberg till 6:30. Then it's Dan Gross on ESPN New York.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $179 for 33 months. Or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN 379853, MSRP $33,425, zero security deposit, APR $14.27 per month for $1,000 finance, ends 2/2/26.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, Every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing! And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing! Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing!
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
402 in the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you till 6:30 because of the fact that Alan and I have our Nick and Devil obligations. Yep. Dan Gross is going to slide in at 6:30 and finish up the show for us, and then at 7 o'clock he'll begin the pregame for the Knicks and the Kings over at Madison Square Garden. So you got that to look forward to. We got to talk about a Tuesday coming up at 4:30, ENN at 6, and it's an Anthony Pusick-led vehicle, which we appreciate.
Hell yeah.
Did you see the Rich Cimini tweet?
Which one? He's been busy.
Well, he's a busy man, of course, and he's supplying all the Jet fans for what feels like centuries information on what's going on with this team and everything. And I want to be able to read it to you because I think it puts everything into perspective what's going on with the Jets right now.
Oh, the help wanted?
Help wanted.
I have
Jets have coaching vacancies at offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, passing game coordinator, quarterbacks, defensive line, linebackers, and assistant defensive backs. Defensive assistant number 2.
Oh, wow.
Now, I have been an advocate of Aaron Glenn isn't going anywhere, and the reason why I've said that is why I'm going to double down here. He still has a job because he's got 4 years left on his contract.
Correct.
That's it.
Fully guaranteed.
All right, it has nothing to do with performance because they let go of everybody.
Yes.
You're telling me everyone's at fault but him? Or is it everybody else is expendable because they're not, guaranteed money and have long years left on their contract and they're easily replaceable? That's why Glenn still has a job. That's why Alan and I and Peter said he wasn't going anywhere. So all the people saying that he should be fired, should be one and done, not going to happen. Could he be two and done? Absolutely. Because, Alan, you've covered sports long enough to know that when the lieutenants get fired, who's next?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
the general.
Exactly.
I feel like there's two ways that I felt about what he's doing. The first thing is I admire the fact that he recognizes that I hired a really bad staff of people that weren't ready for these jobs, that we were not good because our coaching was not good. Less about our players and more about the fact that we as a coaching staff were not good. And so he wanted to upgrade. I need more experienced people. I need to get a better coaching staff in here. Tanner Engstrand, as I told everybody, they couldn't get an offensive coordinator. Nobody wanted the job. And he went to Tanner Engstrand because he worked with him in Detroit, and Engstrand wasn't even a coordinator. He never called plays in his life. And what you saw during the season is he was completely overwhelmed. He was trying to force a system the only system he really knew onto Justin Fields, who didn't have the accuracy to play that Jared Goff kind of system they play in Detroit.
Right.
So you got to recognize something that's a problem and fix it immediately rather than try to act like, oh, no, we're going to be better in year 2. And a lot of times people almost double down on their decisions because they don't want to look like they made mistakes. He is admitting, I didn't hire a good staff. I got to do better. And what we're hearing is Frank Reich is a possible candidate for the offensive coordinator position. Now that it's available, they have to obviously open up the hiring process to include minorities, so it's not something they can do right away because Engstrand wasn't supposed to go anywhere, but he probably said, wait, you're bringing in somebody that's effectively going to replace me? Yeah, that's not really the job I was hired for, and so they parted ways. That's why he's no longer there. Now, who they get as a defensive coordinator is a bigger concern to me. But let's just keep it at that surface right now before we go any deeper. You want to make sure you hire your coordinators. Then let them hire their coaches, or you collectively work together. So you're firing everybody because you know I'm bringing in a new OC and a new DC, and I'm going to let them have their own people. So is this a new broom sweeps clean? Is this I've got to upgrade our coaching staff if we're going to be better next year? I like it. But I still have to see now, does anyone still want to work here? And in the case of like Jim Leonard, who I thought would have been a perfect former Jet, an up-and-coming, rising kind of defensive coach who could have had his first experience as a DC, he instead is, I believe, going to the Bills.
Right. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So you lost him, which leaves Wink Martindale, who's very experienced, who wants to coach and get back in the league.
Right.
But if Aaron Glenn thinks that he's going to put his fingerprints on the defense, you're out of your mind. You got to know Wink Martindale. He doesn't operate like that. So I'm curious to see that side of it. But if you're Frank Reich, Donnie, you could say, I'll take the job because this dude, if he fails, they'll probably end up getting rid of him. And I've coached before. I wouldn't mind getting another crack at it.
When you look at this is what the DC and the OC have in common is, all right, what's the longevity of the head coach here?
Yep.
You know, if I'm Jim Leonard, I'm like, I don't want to go to the Jets and this guy gets fired and I'm out the door with him.
That's fair.
Because I don't think Jim Leonard right now has aspirations to be a head coach right away.
Not yet.
Same thing with Wink. Wink's just trying to get back into the league, right? He had to go to Michigan after he got let go by the Giants. So I don't think he wants to be a head coach either, at least not from what I understand. Frank Reich, on the other hand, he's a guy that might be apt to take it because Aaron Glenn's on shaky ground. And he's thinking, I could end up swooping in and becoming the head coach of the Jets. If it doesn't work, if it works out, great. I'm the offensive coordinator on a team that's winning and a chance to go to the playoffs. But if it ends up falling apart and they're 1-7 to start the year, guess who everybody's going to be calling to be the new head coach of the team? And it might be me, and this might be my way back in to being head coach after his failings in Indianapolis.
There you go.
So either way, Frank Reich probably is attracted to it because of the unstable ground that Glenn's on. And all the other candidates maybe don't want it for that reason. And I still think there's a chance Aaron Glenn could be the right guy. I don't think they had a lot of talent, especially after the trade. But when you take a look, and every single coordinator did a poor job but him, the head coach, he hired all the wrong people, and he's the one guy to stay? Or is he just as big a disaster as all the other ones, but he gets to stay because he's got 4 years guaranteed left on his contract?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I understand that, Don, but you're also – and I think – look, I'm not trying to defend Aaron Glenn here. I'm trying to give the other side of the story.
Right.
And that is, while you try to develop players and coach and quarterbacks, you know, here's a situation where you're trying to develop a coach, somebody that you know has some quality about him, that you know he's a worker, that he worked his way up. He didn't step in and just want a coordinator position right out of the blue because of his resume as a former player. He came in, he scouted. He was a position coach.
No, he paid his dues.
Grind his way up. And so he understands that part of it. So I got to teach him now, or I got to see if he can learn the mistakes you make as a coach and how much they're costly. Put a better staff around you, have smarter people around you. And I didn't like a report that I saw over the weekend that said that Glenn wants to be involved in play calling on defense. There's your first mistake.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Because, look at John Harbaugh. He never did that. I am a CEO. I'm a leader of men. I'm a voice of the team. And I have people that I'm going to delegate authority to. And I trust the way you're going to run your defense, and I trust the way you're going to run your offense. I'm going to oversee everything, but I'm going to leave you to it. And it's probably better because what we learned from Glenn this season is he was overwhelmed having to deal with everything.
Right.
An inexperienced offensive coordinator, a D coordinator whose players didn't like the system, and he had to be putting those fires out to a point where he had to get rid of them. There was too much happening for Glenn as a head coach to worry about everything else. He had to focus on one thing. Rex said it too. Rex said that it was hard when he first became a head coach to learn to pull away and let go of the defense because there's just so many other things you're dealing with as a head coach that might not have anything to do with X's and O's. So I did not like seeing that from Glenn, and that's the first time when I felt, okay, I like this. He's cleaning house. He's admitting that he didn't coach a good staff. He didn't create a good staff. And then I saw that, and I stopped, and I said, oh, no. This is a mistake, and now I'm more concerned than I was maybe going into the weekend.
Yeah, I see both sides of that because I do think there is a talent and a character enhancer, if you will, to someone that can admit they made a mistake.
Yes.
And rather than doubling and tripling down. And so right. I think that's a good thing. But I also think it does get to a point where there's so many mistakes that you then become concerned about the overall abilities that he has as a head coach. And now as he's trying to learn in his second year on a team that, at least on the surface, doesn't seem to have a ton of talent and maybe one of the toughest schedules in the league. And, oh, by the way, he wants to pick up, another layer and calling plays on defense. Now, it's not the same as calling plays on offense, but still, we saw with Rex, as you said, a guy that seems so focused on the defensive side of the ball. You're probably going to have either an inexperienced quarterback or some veteran that's going to need somebody to keep an eye on him, and you got to make decisions. Do I go for it on fourth down? What play are we running here? How are we handling things to adjust in the second half of games? All the things, and dealing with the media and all the things that come with that job. And I think he learned that it's a lot bigger than he thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm willing to give him the chance in year 2. I'm going to err on the side of a positive that he found out his mistakes. He rooted them out. But still, I can understand a Jet fan not having a ton of confidence right now in the head coach of their team. 1-800-919-3776. Brian in Rockville Center. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What's up? You're kidding.
Brian.
He's gone?
Yeah, we lost Brian. We got Subi in Midtown.
Hopefully Brian didn't pass. And if he did, please let us know where we can send flowers. Subi in Midtown, it's your chance. Hopefully you're still with us.
Hey, Don. Yeah, I've been listening to you guys and obviously Jake since the morning. And how can you say as a Jets fan that we're not allowed to, hate watch this team next year and hope that they can draft Eli? I mean, why can't we hope that Aaron Glenn chooses to be on Hard Knocks and we should see a comedy show every week filming him? Because his ways of doing things this last year and even going forward will always be comedy. And Don, why can't we hate watch him? Why can't we root for them to lose and not be mediocre? Have Frank Reich come in and play Mac Jones for 6 wins. Is that what we want as a football team?
Well, I mean, do you want it to work or not? I mean, so you're giving up.
Mike Vrabel's going to tear down Mac Jones. He's going to tear down Aaron Glenn next year. He's going to be even better next year. After 2 years, you think that the Jets, Don, could compete with Mike Vrabel's Super Bowl team? Give me a break. We're going to hate watch this team as a comedy, and it's going to be worth hate watching.
So does anything change if they go 0-17?
Yes, there's going to be a new administration, even if Sarkisian
so much better than the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that.
Sarkisian and Arch Manning will at least be something that is new to the NFL.
So let me ask you, Subi, let me ask you something seriously.
Let me add this. Subi, you honestly, if you're a Jets fan for a long time and you understand the history of the team and all that stuff, you honestly think if they have another debacle of a season, that the Mannings would have any interest in sending the next Manning into the league to play for this franchise? There's 0% chance of that happening. 0.
It's still better to hate watch and root.
Well, I didn't say you can't hate. Well, you can hate watch. You can hate watch. You can. You have every right as a fan because this team has earned that. But to think that it's like, well, then they'll just fire everybody and they'll bring in the brilliance of a college coach and then a Manning. Bud, that's not happening. It only gets worse, not better.
What does 6 wins get you next year?
It gets you 2 more than you got this year.
Subi, what does 0-17 get you?
0-17, we're not rooting for 0-17. We're rooting for something productive on the field. But we know that the productivity on the field will come, will not come. because offensive coordinators don't want to come here, defensive coordinators don't want to come here.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to go to the point of just hating your team, then just quit on the team, because as long as Woody Johnson is your owner, nothing is going to get rectified. All right, so you go 0-17, you got the first pick overall. Alan's right. Arch Manning's like, you know what? I'm not going to the Jets. They can't develop a quarterback. That team's an absolute mess. All right? You wanted to get rid of the regime after Idzik. You got McCagnon. You wanted to get rid of the regime after McCagnon. You got Douglas. You wanted to get rid of that regime. You got this regime. Like, you keep going through them. You can't get it right. You keep getting quarterbacks. You can't get it right. So why not just root for the team to win? Because losing doesn't seem to help either.
But it feels easier. It hurts less.
No, you know what's easier?
If I
read
want to laugh at it.
You know what's easier? Go watch hockey or basketball. Just or go pick another team. Whatever. Be a fraud. Yeah. Absolutely, be a fraud. Do yourself a favor. But to sit there and stab yourself, hoping the team loses, just to continue to screw it up, to me, you might as well just set your hair on fire. I mean, what are you doing?
It's such
a
give
up,
place
quit,
to be.
Tap out. There's no shame in tapping out.
No, you have
the
every
biggest
right.
wrestler in the world just ended his career tapping out.
Mm-hmm. You have every right to say, I can't take it anymore. I can't watch this anymore. You have every right to do it. But it's very strange to want to sit there and entertain yourself with losing. Like, it's almost like you're a madman now. And you're in the straitjacket in the padded room, and you're just chuckling and giggling because it just keeps getting worse and worse. And again, that's probably how to describe a Jets fan at this point. It's painful. It's frustrating.
But Alan,
somewhere along the line, something's got to take. And Aaron Glenn pretty much knows he's got 1 year. And by the way, Darren Muji, who we're not talking about, has an off season. He has draft picks. He's got free agency. He's got an off season where he can say, maybe the coaching staff last year was a disaster, but I know what I'm doing, and I'll get this thing right. So let's just see what he does first, and then go from there. Am I optimistic, Don?
No.
I am not.
Of course
I have
not.
no reason to be.
Can't be.
But I'm not going to hate watch. I'm just not going to watch.
But honestly, it's gonna be the death of me. The philosophy of tanking.
Yeah, I know.
Jet fans, come here. Come close to the radio. You had the quarterback.
Yeah.
You drafted him. You had him in your building.
Yep.
And now he's going to go win a Super Bowl for somebody else. Yeah. So all the tanking, all the drafting doesn't work, because it doesn't work with this franchise, because they don't know what they're doing. You have to root for them to all of a sudden discover what they're doing. And that doesn't come with being gifted the first overall pick. That doesn't come from going 0-17. It comes from eventually Woody Johnson finding the nut, eventually stepping in it, and just getting it right on dumb luck, because nothing else has worked. All right? Tanking doesn't work. Winning doesn't work. Having the damn quarterback in your building doesn't work. You had him in your uniform, a Super Bowl quarterback in your building. You didn't know what to do with him. You pooped yourself. That's what you did. You finally got the hot chick to dance with you, and you pissed yourself because you don't know what you're doing. You urinated all over yourself, and you finally got Jennifer Aniston to touch you, and you destroyed yourself because you don't know what you're doing. 0-17 does not fix ignorance. I don't know what made the air. I don't care. It's time for people to, even the YouTube people. I'm looking at you. I'm staring at you. Your team is dumb. It's functional dumb. So 0-17 is not going to matter.
It's going to take someone.
You had him in your building.
To go to the,
again,
they had him in the building. They knew everything they could know about him. And because of the stupid fifth-year option, but I got the number 2 pick in the jock and reset and start over again. I don't have to pay for the quarterback. I can build around it. And that's the problem. Who was it? I'm telling you, somebody's going to eventually get Joe Douglas to spill the tea. Somebody. I need to know. Joe, I know deep down you weren't like, yeah, let's get rid of Sam and take this 5'10" dude. because of a throw he made on his pro day. Let's take him with the number 2 pick in the draft rather than say, we got our quarterback, we got the 2 pick, let's trade that, turn it into more, and keep developing this kid because there's something here. We know it. We got him. He fell to us in the 3rd pick of the draft. And instead, that didn't happen. That means something got in the way.
Yeah.
We all know what that something is.
Yeah.
And his name's Woody Johnson.
JetBlue. All the fans wanted the building to be called JetBlue. But get a sponsorship. Makes sense, right? Jets,
Sure.
Blue, Giants.
Sure.
It was JetBlue. It was that's the word, is his relationship with the family, and Woody got his. So that's what I'm talking about.
True,
so that's
Don,
what happens.
That's
if that is true,
franchise malpractice. If that I've heard that rumor for years, and I've never understood. Could that really? Who is that dumb?
Malpractice.
That you're going to make you're going to make a decision that's that critical. You're going to make that. Yeah, it's franchise malpractice.
You know how many patients died on that table? He's like Quincy. He's a medical examiner. The bodies are already dead when they get them.
Wow.
So, yeah, hate watch. Because that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
But let's tank because eventually they'll get it right. Believe me, 50 years. 50. And this Super Bowl more than any other. And I understand that regime is gone and it's a different regime and all that. But that's what's got to kill you, Alan. Root for Sam. Sam's a great kid. I think it'd be great if they won the Super Bowl. I really would.
Yeah.
But you can't get over the fact that you had him in your building.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what? And so did Carolina, and so did San Francisco.
No, that's why I said Minnesota.
And so did the Yo-Yos in Minnesota.
Right.
Because as much as we praise them, they still went the cheap route. I'd rather have the kid, the J.J. McCarthy on a rookie contract, than the guy that won me 13 games during the regular season. How do you think they feel today?
Yeah.
Where did they go this year? So believe me, idiots love company. And I know that's not the phrase, but it works here. Believe me, there's a lot of dumb people in the NFL. They all wander. They're all wander into the same corner, like that vibrating football game where they all just kind of end up in the same sideline. Like all the dumb ones. The rest of the league scoring touchdowns. It's the 5 or 6 dumb owners. They all vibrate to the same corner, huddling like Blair Witch and all looking away from the action. God love them. They're all great people. Woody Johnson's a good person. He really is a good person. I like him. But the football acumen's not there, and it's not working. So hate watch, lick watch, eat watch, feed watch, whatever you want to call it. Don't watch. That's what I would suggest you do. You live longer.
Whatever makes you feel better. As I said, I can't be mad at any fan that wants to say this stuff, Don. I can't.
No.
Because this franchise has
trying to help
it.
them.
They have done it to them. So I'll never say, like, you're crazy. You're an No. If that's all you got, then that's what you got.
I feel sorry for him.
But you can't keep going back to something like this and taking the abuse if it's affecting you to a point where you are watching because you're laughing maniacally at the disaster that unfolds every year. I told you, it snapped in me, Don.
I know.
The minute Rodgers couldn't get up, I stared at that TV as if I just stared at this really happened.
Hey.
This really happened. This is one of those where you just you don't talk to anybody, you just walk straight out to the pool and fall in.
No, you're right.
Darkness, my old friend.
And it's so true. Is you get to the point because you keep saying, well, one day they'll turn it around. I want to be there the one day.
Oh yeah, of course.
Think about how many people are 6 feet under that were waiting for that day and never saw it. I mean, we're talking about a long period of time. So God bless you. I'm having fun, but at the same time, I want to cry for you. I worked for that. I worked 16 years pre and post, taking phone calls from you guys. I honestly, it's not fun for me to have those types of conversations because it's sickening. It is really almost in the 25 years, September 3rd, 25 years of this radio station. That has been the recurring theme with this franchise. Except for a few little blips and a few little runs that all ended in disappointment anyway. Mm-hmm. This has been the recurring theme of my 25 years. Jet fans suffering. Not Met fans, not Islander fans, not Knicks fans. They've all suffered in their own way.
There's no
Jet
suffer
fans,
like this.
This is epic. This is epic. And I feel bad. I honestly feel bad. And the perfect segue into talk about it Tuesday.
We need to talk about it.
We got a lot to talk about. Alan's got stuff to talk about. I've got something pretty cool, I think, to talk about. And that's coming up next. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg hanging out with you till 6:30. And then Dan Gross is doing us the favor of favors. Coming in at 6:30 so Alan and I can go play our reindeer games. So 6:30, it'll be Dan Gross leading you up to Knicks and Kings here on ESPN New York.
25th ranked St. John's looks to make it 7 in a row when they host Butler at MSG. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on the ESPN New York app.
Ah, the internet. A place where your curiosity can flourish. Unless malware gets in the way. It's a place that can surprise you with phishing websites and trackers. The internet is wonderful, but you must protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. Tech Radar named it the #1 VPN in 2025. A single NordVPN account secures up to 10 devices. What else? This cybersecurity tool also encrypts your browsing. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. NordVPN scans the dark web to check that the information associated with your email address is not exposed. Just a few clicks and you're safer online. Browse with more peace of mind. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Did you say someone got shot?
Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami. Gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian.
An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Being placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us. Murder at the U, coming soon.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. Definitely want to take it slow out there on the roads and reduce your speed. We've got lots of slick and icy spots. Problem on the Van Wyck southbound right before Kew Gardens in Queens. A broken down van in the left lane. You're jammed there from the LIE. Hitting the brakes on the Grand Central eastbound heading into Nassau County. Right before the Northern State, an accident picked up by Little Neck Parkway. Still a bumper-to-bumper ride there from Kew Gardens. Best of it's the outbound George, southbound Deegan and Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound, stop and go from the Bronx River Parkway. Inbound George, no issues for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels are only about a half hour each. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit mad.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Sometimes you just can't take it anymore.
You're done. I'm done.
This is Let's Talk About It Tuesday.
Hang up on
this idiot! With Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
All right, Donnie, I know you have something that you're excited about.
Yes,
I remembered what it was that came across my way over the weekend that
Cool.
I felt like we need to have a conversation. It has to do with the business that I used to be in, which is a journalist, a newspaper journalist. Yes, everybody drinks.
I drive a Dodge Stratus!
But this is more serious. So I don't know if you've seen this, but the Washington Post is on the verge of laying off more of its staff.
Yeah.
The Washington Post is also reportedly they're not sending anyone to the Olympics. That has never happened. Now, Jeff Bezos owns the paper now. He has owned it for a while. It's not like it was the last couple of years. It's been, I think, about 10 years that he has owned it. But you're seeing it's obviously very expensive to cover things the way you would hope a national newspaper can cover it, which is supposed to be down the middle. But you want to have a presence. The boots on the ground thing was something that was about journalism,
Right.
the fact that you're there. And the Post, along with the New York Times, there are newspapers that had that history of being a resource that everybody could trust because it's supposed to be down the middle. That all has changed in the last 10 years or more, 15 years. But what's also changed, Don, is the business itself, where newspapers are dying.
Yes.
And it's really become more online. It's become more content.
I was just in Pittsburgh Post Gazette. Gone.
I told you about them,
Yeah.
right? They pulled the plug on that newspaper. So these, this used to be something in our country that was of value. And for me as a kid growing up, that was my thing. I always tell people this, that broadcasting is not a career I pursued. It pursued me. I went to school as a journalism major with an English minor. I wanted to be a writer. That was my whole thing. I wanted to be a writer and a columnist. I felt like there was something about that as a career that I was excited about. But when the opportunity came for me to leave, I knew I had to because I saw the direction that the newspapers were going in. It was what people were consuming now, were more about immediate news and rumors and blogs and stuff like that, which you're seeing. To me, it's an oversaturation now of coverage of things. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know what to trust anymore. I don't. And I promise you this, majority of the people who react to things that happen in the world react to what they see on social media about it more than they take the time to sit down with a long-form newspaper and read it from byline to, the end of the story, where you get all of the information and then from there can decipher it, because no one has the time nor the patience to do that anymore. So it concerns me a lot that a newspaper like the Washington Post feels like it is really starting to circle the drain now with this latest thing. And I worry about it. I do. That concerns me. When you ask me what I want to talk about a lot of times, I don't like to be political. I don't like to talk about this stuff. This is sports. We try to have fun with it. I let everybody know I don't trust anybody when it comes to politics. That's why I don't like talking about it.
Right.
But I do concern myself with journalism because there is an importance to, at least when things are happening in the world, there's a place to go that at least you know you're getting all the information. And the problem in media now is that everything now has become short form, quick verse, reels. And I don't mean REAL. I mean, the reels that you just use your thumb and flick through and you're watching, 10-second videos of things happening and you're not getting full context. It's a dangerous place we're heading when a newspaper of that magnitude in journalism is starting to now crumble as well.
No, it's a shame. It was a way of life that is now gone by the wayside. There's no question about that. Well, mine's a little bit more lighthearted, I think.
Good.
But, Giant fans can rejoice in something, and that's their past and their future. The present, not so much. But 35 years ago today, on January 27th, 1991, this happened.
All right, there's the signal to play. Hang in there. Steps back to the 40. A long approach on the ball this time. 4 steps. Back, bunt, in the air. It's got the distance. It is no good.
That's the Jim Gordon call of wide right. Scott Norwood misses a 47-yard field goal, and the Giants win their second Super Bowl, Super Bowl 25. I mean, it's crazy, right? This is going to be Super Bowl 60.
Yeah.
That was the silver anniversary, the 25th Super Bowl, 35 years ago today. Now, before I get into what I'm going to say, let's hear at least the beginning of the Al Michaels call on ABC 7 of the same play.
Now Norwood tries to kick his longest ever on grass.
That's it. That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear. His longest field goal on grass. Now, keep that in mind because he is a pariah in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Wide right, Norwood's miss. He's the GOAT of Super Bowl 25. Should have kicked the field goal that gives the Bills their only Super Bowl championship. And it is so misguided. It's so lazy. The real GOAT to me is really the entire Buffalo Bills team. But if you want a GOAT, it's the Bills offense and Jim Kelly.
The K-gun.
Because this is one of the greatest offenses of all time. Obliterated the Los Angeles Raiders in the championship game. Scored an average of point a minute in the Super Bowl. They scored 19 points. They only had the ball for 19 minutes in the game.
Thurman Thomas was unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Would have been the MVP of the game had the kick been good.
Mm-hmm.
What people fail to realize, and now that we're 35 years removed from it, there are a lot of people that weren't even born, including our producer and board op, is the fact that Jim Kelly and the K-gun offense got the ball at their own 10-yard line with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, a 2-minute warning, and a timeout. We have seen Patrick Mahomes get in the field goal range in 13 seconds. And the closest they can get with 2 minutes and 10 seconds, the 2-minute warning and a timeout, is a 47-yard field goal, which was the longest attempt on grass in Scott Norwood's career. And another thing Frank Gifford said later on during the broadcast is only 35% of field goals that distance on grass were made. This was pre-kickers launching 60-yard field goals that hit the net. How in God's name can the K-gun offense, with that much time, only get a 47-yard field goal attempt, Alan?
Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick deserves credit. His defensive scheme is in the Hall of Fame. But, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Jim Kelly's career or how good James Lofton was and Thurman Thomas and that offensive line, but if you want to go, don't give it to Scott Norwood. When you look at the information, there was almost a feeble chance it was going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
If we had talk radio to the extent that we have, if we had the analytics, they probably don't attempt the field goal. Or they certainly would have done more to try to get closer. It is crazy that he is labeled the GOAT of that Super Bowl, Allen. And
I agree.
35 years later, he is still a pariah in Buffalo, and he should not be.
Well, it's what everybody says when you reference that Super Bowl. That and Whitney Houston. Those are the two things that come out of that Super Bowl more than anything else, right? There wasn't anything, to be fair, what about the Giants in that game was memorable? Hostetler? The fact that it was there it is. The fact that it was he ended up being he was the backup quarterback. Sims was hurt. What is your lasting memory from the Giants from that game? It's not like, again, the Manningham catch.
The 10-minute drive
and the
in
Lawrence
the third
Tynes.
quarter.
Like, you had that. Right, okay, you could have that.
Keeping the ball away from them.
Yes.
For that long.
Yeah.
Is what you remember.
The game plan is what you're saying, Don.
Yeah.
A lot of Super Bowls have moments, play moments or performance moments in them that I'll never forget that game because of this. But that game is remarkable because the game you thought they were losing. I remember I was sitting with my dad at our house in the den watching the game, and I remember before the kick, I remember saying to my dad, like, well, Giants are losing this one. And he said, not so fast. He's got to make it. And he missed, and that's what my dad said.
Well,
You never give up. You always have to. It's got to happen. So that's why it's the most remarkable moment in the entire game. Was that moment. And he has to make that kick. He didn't.
He didn't make the kick. And what I remember, sitting with my dad in the living room, and my dad turning to me and going, he's going to make this kick because they won the championship game on a game-winning field goal, and they're going to lose the Super Bowl on a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
And he missed it. And I was jumping up and down. And the thing that I remember, we had this fish tank in the living room. And it wasn't one of those wide ones. It was kind of like a straight up one. It was only maybe like 2 or 3 feet wide, but it was like 5 feet tall.
I get it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And all of a sudden, as I'm jumping up and down, and the house that I grew up in was like 100 years old when I was born. It's like literally might be like a 135-year-old house now.
See.
Right, that's where that drop came from because I'm jumping up and down. All of a sudden, it starts to tip. And my dad, because now he's, God, how old was he then? I'm way older than he was then.
Yeah.
Because he died at 59 in 1997. So he was 52 years old. But by then he was an old man who had seen everything. So he was happy, but not to the point of jumping up and down.
Wait
so
a minute,
he was
stop
more angry,
yourself.
like fish tank, like he was going to beat me.
You said he was a 52. He was an old man who had seen everything. 52?
Yes. Well,
different. We look at it differently, don't we? 52 now.
Yeah, because my father was on a destroyer between the Korean and the Vietnam War, so he served in the Navy, chose the Navy because he didn't want to get drafted into a branch he didn't want to go to. He wanted to be in the Navy, so he volunteered to go to the Navy, and luckily he graduated in 56. We were between wars, but he had been to the Mediterranean. He had seen the world. Mm-hmm. He's had his 2 kids. By 1990, I'm already in college. My brother was already out of high school. So 52 back in 1990 was a lot different than being 57 now.
Yep.
But so that's the lasting memory of almost knocking over the fish tank. But I honestly, I know it irritates Anthony because it's something that happened in the 90s. But it is kind of crazy. So how old was I in 1990? I was 22 years old. So I am in college, getting ready to graduate college. It's 35 friggin' years ago, man. I have trouble digesting that something like that didn't feel like it was that long ago happened 35 years ago.
Now, wasn't that 91?
Well, it was the 90 season.
90 season, yeah.
So it was January 27, 1991.
Yeah.
But it's always the 90 championship.
Of course.
To me, right?
This had that season.
Just like we're in the 25 season as we get ready for Super Bowl 60, for God's sakes. I mean, it just – So I just thought I'd take that time. It was also a perfect opportunity to bring up that it's the 35th anniversary of Wide Right but it really should be the Bills' offensive failures to get closer. 1-800-919-3776. Reset everything at 5 o'clock. We've got an ENN led by Anthony Pusick at 6. Dan Gross is nice enough to come in at 6:30 to help us out to close out the show. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report.
No big, just a loose gas cap.
And gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify. The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
The city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports. ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Did you say someone got shot?
Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami, gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian.
An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Being placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us.
Murder at the U, coming soon.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
A little run to the hills. Don Hahn and Rosenberg till 6:30, and then it's Dan Grassa. Got ENN coming up at 6. Always excited when Anthony Pusick does it. Peter's on his way to Saudi Arabia. So I don't know where we'll hear from him again. I think the plan is he will be on our air, but I don't know how long. So Thursday. So tomorrow's out.
Tomorrow's out.
He's a very busy man tomorrow, from my understanding.
All right. Well, he's probably still flying. Like, it takes 7 days to get there by air, I think.
I believe it's a 12-hour flight. I was tracking it earlier. I'll see where he's at.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Now, I was on some decent flights on this Devil trip. But 12, man, that's a long time
to
man.
be.
Like 5 hours, yeah, you watch a couple of movies.
Yeah.
But like 12 hours, man, you got to get some sleep, no?
How do you feel about it, honestly? Like, to me, a cross-country flight, that's about as much as I can take. Like, going to Europe, that was a lot. Like, that flight is a long flight, too, just Europe. But anything, and people have told me about flying to Australia and flying, good on you. I don't sleep well as it is, so sleeping on a plane, even harder.
I remember somebody, I don't want to give them away, I don't want to blow up their spot.
Okay.
They had to go to, I think it was the Nagano Olympics, or the Winter Olympics in 98. Sure. And it was like a 16-hour flight. And they said that, they got all, they wanted to sleep, but they partied. So they got on the plane and they were drunk from drinking before getting on the plane. Sobered up, and they got drunk again. Like, that's how long the flight was.
Yep.
Like, you were able to, drunk, all right, let's take a nap, sleep for 6-7 hours.
Sleep it off,
wake up, feel good, say, all right, let's start again, boys, because we still have another half of flight to go.
Damn.
So he's 2 hours and 40 minutes from landing. When he lands, it'll be 7:30 in the morning tomorrow.
Right, so we should ask him who's winning the games tonight.
Anthony's right. Anthony's tracking him. He's Biff from.
Only thing I don't have is a map. Couldn't
Future.
tell you what 2.5 hours is in terms of where he is in the world right now.
No, he's
2.5 hours away from Saudi Arabia.
He's clearly on the other side of it for sure. So the other side of the world. 1-800-919-3776. Eric is in Union City. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. Great to talk to you. There was an incredible play in Super Bowl 25, a Giants play. Don, when I run this down, you're going to kick yourself for not remembering.
What's that?
It was 3rd and 13, and Hostetler hit Mark Ingram, who broke like 4 tackles to get 14 yards.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Of course, I remember that play, and it is always it's always mentioned as one of the biggest plays of the game because he should have been stopped short. They get the first down. The problem I have with the play is Buffalo scored the next possession and retook the lead. So as big a deal as it was, it didn't stop the Bills from still taking the lead. So history seems to clearly was part of the victory because they needed the points that they got to be able to eventually win the game. Right. But the fact that the Bills scored on the next possession on a Thurman Thomas touchdown to take the lead still, to me, took a little bit away from it, if you know what I mean.
I do. And when you put it that way, you're right, but it was an absolutely spectacular play.
But to Alan's, the throwback at Alan, and thank you for the phone call, like that is a play that resonates. I don't know if you remember it, Alan. Like he stopped dead, and he's hopping on one foot, and he dives, gets the first down,
right?
Kept it alive. Giants end up kicking a field goal to add to the, but they didn't hold on to the lead. So it's a big play, but it could have been even bigger had that been the winning drive. So
yeah,
it's kind of but it is to me, it was the greatest Super Bowl I ever saw until the Giants beat the Patriots the first time with the helmet catch.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But that didn't have any penalties. Like, it was such a well-played game. And if you remember at the time, we didn't get well-played Super Bowls. The year before, we got one of the worst blowouts ever when the 49ers just absolutely dismantled the Broncos. Yeah,
we were talking about this yesterday, how in our day there were some bad Super Bowls and that the championship games were always better.
Right.
We were discussing, and it's true, so at least that was a good game. I thought when he said Mark, I thought he was going to say Bavaro. Because didn't Bavaro have a big catch in that game?
Well, Howard Cross had a big catch, too, on the long drive.
But I thought there was like this gritty Bavaro catch as well.
But you're not thinking about the one against the Niners where he's dragging people like 20
maybe
yards.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so maybe
that was a big deal.
Maybe a blends. But you know what that does tell us, though? That tells us, again, that when you're always looking for the signature play of a Super Bowl, unfortunately for Norwood, it's the fact that went wide right.
Yeah, but I just feel like, and this makes sense, right? Because not everybody was alive for it. Not everybody is going to take the deep dive. It's easy to call the kicker who misses the field goal the GOAT.
Right.
But if you just took the time to read it more into it, you'd realize that was a really tough kick to make.
Yeah, there were things that led up to it. Right.
And boy, they should have been a lot closer than they actually were on that kick. Let's go to John in Mahwah, my old stomping grounds. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, John?
Hey, Don. I live not far from Ramapo. Huge, longtime Jet fan, rooting big time for Sam, not because I want the Jets to be embarrassed or that we somehow screwed him over. I just like the guy.
Yeah,
I was actually really calling more. No, he's. I gotta root for him. He's my. I don't want to be a fraud, but they're my second team now because I like the guy.
Okay.
I wanted to get to Alan's point. I'm 66. I used to commute to the city for years and years and years. I used to read the New York Post, the Daily News, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. I used to sit around on Sunday flipping through the New York Times. It was great. I think over the last 10 years, the papers have become so polarized. You go in and you look at the cover of the New York Post and the cover of the Daily News, and it's the same exact story, and it's handled completely differently. The New York Times, the Washington Post. They're none of these are. It doesn't seem like journalism anymore. It seems more like, and I hate to say that it's political, but it's not. It seems more like propaganda when you see what's on the front page of one paper as opposed to another paper. The same exact story gets treated completely differently, and you're not getting the story anymore. You're getting the opinions about what you should be thinking about those stories, and it's sad to me because and again, as an old guy, I don't read Kindles. I have a book with a place mark in it. I love reading a newspaper, picking it up. I can't do it anymore because I'm not. It's not reality. It's what they want you to see, and and I feel bad, Alan. Journalism has just died. It's died.
It's definitely dying, and it's sad. And John, I appreciate what you're saying because, like. I looked at newspaper. It was tangible. You held it in your hand. You turned the page like it was. That is the classic on the train with the newspaper kind of thing. Everybody. That's everybody. I learned how to reading Newsday as a kid, a little kid, reading headlines, sounding out words like that Newsday was on our doorstep every single morning in the Sunday paper and all that stuff. And I agree with what he's saying. That's the problem, and that's what really frustrates me is that I can't even just get the details of a story and figure it out for myself. I have to now question, wait, are you telling me everything I'm supposed to know here, or are you just kind of giving me your side of it? Because you're now catering as a newspaper to an audience that you know will at least buy your paper versus a general audience that now people are so selective with where they want to get their information because they want it to agree with their beliefs. And that's why journalism is dying, because no one trusts it anymore. And why should you? It's been sold and bought and sold.
Yeah, you strive to be neutral, and now you're just striving to find one side or the other. It's been going on a lot longer in sports, but you kind of live with it because sports is just entertainment. It's not supposed to be that important as far as the worldview stuff, but it's almost like it's covered by sports now, where everybody's got their rooting side, and that's where you kind of get the information politically and everything else. All right, we got lots to get into. We got into the Jets situation, got into the Knicks situation as well. More calls at 1-800-919-3776. Coming up at 6 o'clock, an ENN with Anthony Pusick, and then at 6:30 it's Dan Grassa right here on ESPN New York.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel, folks. One final Sunday, one final kickoff. The last chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So, whether you're backing the Pats, the Seahawks, it makes no difference. Ride the underdog, go with the favorite, make a parlay, make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football's officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 and over, physically present in New York. First online, real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. I keep telling you about these slick and icy conditions we've got out there on the roads. Problem spot on the Grand Central eastbound in Queens. Over by LaGuardia, looks like a yellow cab lost control and hit a snowbank. Right lane is out. You're jammed there from the Triborough Bridge, making it a bumper-to-bumper ride on the BQE eastbound. That eastern leg heading over to the Grand Central from the LIE. Best of it's the outbound George, southbound Egan and Henry Hudson. West Side Highway northbound. Some pockets of slowdowns from the 79th Street Boat Basin. Inbound George, free and clear for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels are only a half hour each. 80 westbound over in Jersey, packed heading over to 15 and Wharton. Crash with an overturned car. You're backed up to 287 in Parsippany. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing! And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing! Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing!
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for 3!
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Now, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Alan, because when it's game time...
It's Tully time.
It certainly is. The Knicks host the Kings tonight. Coverage immediately following Dan Gross on 880 at 7 o'clock. Devils are here at the Rock to take on the Winnipeg Jets. That'll be a 7 o'clock face-off, and the Nets will take on the Suns in Phoenix at 9. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. As I mentioned, it's John McClain night, so he's going to be inducted into the Ring of Honor. So there's different stages. The Devils do have retired numbers.
Right.
So Niedermeyer, Stevens, Brodeur, Danico, Eliash, their numbers are retired. But we do have members of the Ring of Honor. Sarge, Sergei Brelin is in the Ring of Honor, along with Jacques Lemaire and Dr. John McMullen, the reason that we're all here, as he was the owner of the Rockies and purchased them to bring them to New Jersey, also owner at the time of the Houston Astros. So Johnny Mack is going to be inducted coming up tonight, so should be a lot of fun. Long time coming.
Now, you said something at the start of the show.
I did.
That I'm interested in why you said. Now, did you say it's the most important goal?
I think it's the biggest goal in franchise.
Biggest goal in all right. That's a strong statement. But I can understand why. Because it's kind of the one that put them on the map. They were a Mickey Mouse franchise, 6 years prior?
Yeah, because they came in the league in 82-83 or came from Colorado in 82-83.
Right.
That's the first year in New Jersey. And they were a joke.
Yes.
They were. They were the punchline of a bad joke and didn't come close to making the playoffs. Wayne Gretzky called them a Mickey Mouse organization when the Devils lost to the Oilers in 83, 12-4.
Mm-hmm.
And they were an embarrassment, and they were irrelevant. In the New York landscape at the time, I don't think people even knew they existed. I'm being serious. Like, you're in New Jersey, and they're not good, and you've already, 3 teams in the New York market for hockey. Hockey's
like
the sport.
Right.
You got 2 baseball teams, 2 football teams, 2 basketball teams. You got 3 hockey teams.
I will argue, hockey back then was covered a lot differently
Understood.
in New York than it is now. That's
Understood.
a fact. It
the
got
Islanders
covered.
were in the midst of their cup run. I get it.
It was covered, but you had serious coverage of it. But you're right. I remember as a kid the thing about the Rockies moving. The only thing that I knew about the Devils was I liked the logo. I couldn't have named it. And again, Chico. I only knew Chico. I didn't know anybody else on the team.
Because he was a former Islander.
Because he was a former Islander.
Yeah.
Other than that, no clue.
And yeah, right. So they were like any sports franchise when you're awful for the first 5 years of your existence, and you've got the New York Rangers, the more popular team, the Islanders in the midst of 5 straight Stanley Cup final appearances and 4 straight cups, and you got the Knicks, and the Nets weren't bad then either, and the Jets and the Giants and the Yankees and the Mets. You get lost in the landscape.
A lot going on. Yeah.
And then they had to go. For people that don't know the story, 1988, Devils are finally in the run. Lou Lamoriello takes over the team. They get Sean Burke coming out of the Olympics, and they get hot at the stretch, and they're alive. They go into the final day of the regular season. Penguins, Rangers, Devils are all alive for that 4th playoff spot in the Patrick Division. And they're all playing the same day, a Sunday. Penguins beat the Whalers.
Pardon.
They're alive. Rangers beat the Nordiques, eliminate the Penguins. So the Devils had to win the game in order to make the playoffs and eliminate the Rangers. Couldn't tie the game.
Right.
They had to win the game. This is prior to the shootout. So John McClain scores a goal midway through the third period, ties the game up. They go to overtime, and the Devils have to score. And at 2:21 of overtime, John McClain beats Darren Pang, and they're in the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Gary Thorne with the big call and all that. Devils go on a run, beat the Islanders in 6, beat the Capitals in 7, take the Bruins to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. They go from irrelevant to now playing in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And people started to pay attention. WFAN at the time, they're doing spots. Rock radio stations are playing jingles for the run. All of a sudden, they found their footing in New York sports, at least for a month. And I think there's a lot of people, including myself, that became more of a fan. It became real. And then they missed the playoffs the next year, and the next 4 years after they get eliminated in the first round. So the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, Alan, if they don't make the playoffs, if McClain doesn't score, they tie that game in Chicago, and the Rangers make the playoffs. It would be not till 94 that the team would make a run. You can't build a fan base. You can't get people's attention until you have your moment. Now, Patrick Elias scores a goal in Game 7 in 2000. Arnott wins a cup in Game 6 against Dallas. Jeff Friesen scores a goal in Game 7 against Ottawa in 2003. There are goals that are significant in the playoffs, but that run doesn't happen. They were born that year, in essence, and it all happened because of John McClain's goal, and that's why I think it's the biggest goal in franchise history.
Yeah, no, legitimized. I totally understand it because it's of the new franchises. Because look, Giants, Yankees, Knicks, been around for 100 years, right? So they were established when the leagues were established. So it's harder to say what was the moment that they got their footing, where they arrived. And, in comparison, when you want to look at it from an Islander perspective, it's not, Nystrom's goal in 1980. It's J.P. Parise's goal in 1975 to knock out the Rangers. That put the Islanders on the map. That was it. That they were now all of a sudden a functioning real franchise with a fan base that could start to kind of follow them. And they stole some fans away from the Rangers that year. And, the Rangers got their revenge in 79. But that started it. And every franchise, the Mets had to have had a moment before they even got to the World Series, right? There had to have been a moment along the way where it all of a sudden became, wait a second, they're no longer
their moment,
a joke.
I guess their moment would have been, let's say, they lost to the Orioles. So it would have been something that happened in the series against the Braves, or just making it that would have been significant. The Devils came up short, and they ended up winning 3 Stanley Cups. So you say, well, how could it be the biggest moment? There were 3 Stanley Cups. But would you listen to an Islander fan, an old-time Islander fan, who would have the J.P. Parisi goal bigger than Nystrom's because it beat the Rangers, it put the Islanders on the map in just their third year? They won 12 games in their first year of the Islanders.
They were pretty awful.
And then you fast forward 3 years later, they're beating the Rangers in the playoffs in an overtime goal.
But same as 88, they not only beat the Rangers, they come back down 3-0 to beat the Penguins, and then they're down 3-0 to the Flyers and come back to force a Game 7 and almost knock them off to get to the Cup. So they had a similar type of arrival where once they got that first one, they got on a roll, and that is what established a fan base. It's just that's how it goes. I don't know what it was for the Mets, but they're the new franchise, as well. Like, I think the new franchise all had to have moments like that. And what you're describing with John McClain for the Devils that year is literally that moment where it finally took. Right?
It's such a cool. It's cool that he's being inducted, and it was a long time coming. So good for him. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be on the pregame telling some of those stories where I was when that goal was scored, which is kind of funny, but I want to save some for television.
Oh, come on.
Listen, come on. I gave you plenty. I gave you the I gave you the money one that I think it's the biggest moment in franchise history. But stay tuned coming up on MSG. The Knicks and Giannis becoming real, just in the sense of the fans, because Giannis he's crabbing, he's trying to get out, but he's hurt. Do you make the deal now? Do you wait till the offseason? We've been telling you since the beginning of all this, and we've been on top of this thanks to Alan Hahn from its infancy, that it's probably a deal that you're going to have to wait till the end of the year. But Giannis just can't stop himself. And I would never call Giannis a bad guy, but he's definitely being that guy. And I know we do that on Thursdays because he doesn't want it pinned on him that he's demanding a trade. But, right. Alan, the way he's acting towards the fans, he's doing everything but. So we're at semantics at this point where nobody can pin him on actually saying it, but everybody in the world knows he wants out of Milwaukee.
I think it's been something that has been whispered over the last 2 years that some people in Milwaukee didn't want to hear, didn't want to believe, because it was whispered, and then when he would be asked about it, he would always talk about, oh, no, I love it here, I love it here. Then he signed an extension, a short one, which should have been the message right away. Like, that's your message. He didn't sign a long-term deal. They tried to make – they were very aggressive in trying to make trades to upgrade the roster. The Lillard trade, which looked like a pretty good get, did not work out at all. And, Kyle Kuzma, that one still, I scratched my head, like, what was that supposed to accomplish? And they fired a bunch of coaches. It's just, it has been a mess there to a point now where he knows I'm not getting any younger. This is the time. And he's always had an affinity for playing in New York. It's just something, like most of the Europeans love New York. It's not like the American players who try to avoid New York because of the pressure. The Europeans love it. They want that kind of attention. They want to play in a big market because it feels more like home to them. And that just felt like at some point it's going to happen. And it looked like it might happen in August. But it didn't because from the reports, the Knicks sat down and had a conversation with the Bucks. Neither side felt like either one was really taking it that serious. But it was sort of a, hey, look, he wants to go there. What are you willing to offer? And it's like, well, I mean, I don't really want to blow up my whole team. Right. So here's what we've got. And there was no match. So let's table this thing and keep it moving. And from that point forward, I think that's when Giannis started getting frustrated. Because I think now when you look at it in hindsight, it really seems like he thought it was going to happen. And when it didn't, boy, he came at the training camp. He didn't want to talk about it. He said things like, I'm here now, and that I'm here for the franchise right now, and wanted to win. The first game he played against the Knicks, he played like he had something to prove. Like there was some vengeance in his effort in that game. I was watching like, man, this is a little extra. How hard he's playing, how much he's talking. It It was very strange. But that was happening. And then his agent, again, it's all source-based, was sitting down with the Bucks to talk about the future. The team's not really going anywhere. Then comes the first injury. Then he comes back, and now he's mad at the fans, and he's mad at his team, and he's talking about players not playing hard enough. Then comes the second injury. And now, of course, the trade deadline's coming. So we all see where this is headed, right? Like Stevie Wonder can see this coming, as Bart would always say. So by next week at this time, 10 days from now, is the trade deadline. It feels like a trade is imminent, but the problem is it's very difficult to trade for a player with that much money on his contract when the team that's trading him is probably not looking to take on a massive contract. So that's what now makes this curious. Can a deal really go down? And the big question in New York is, should the Knicks make sure that they're in the conversation just in case they can pull it off? Because of that 11-game stretch where they lost 9 games, that changed the thinking, at least from the fan base, from a team that won the NBA Cup in December and everybody said, don't touch this team. Remember, we were taking calls and fans were saying, I don't want Giannis. I don't want to break up this team.
Right.
We were taking calls, and now we're taking calls from fans saying, you got to do whatever it takes. He's one of the best players in the league, and this team over the last 11 games has shown you that they're not a championship caliber team, so go get me Giannis. How the mood has changed in a month's time, Don, is really remarkable, and now I'm curious to see if that same mood has changed within the organization, and we'll know whether or not they should at least engage in talks just to see what's different between now and August, and will Giannis use any leverage he can to say, look, you might get offers from other teams, but this is where I want to play. And can they use that leverage to make a deal happen?
I just got some news that really bothers me, but I have to let you know first. There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5 S Select, all-wheel drive, for $179 for 33 months, or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN379853, MSRP $33,425. Zero security deposit, APR at $14.27 per month per $1,000 financed. Ends 2/2/26.
Wow.
Adam Schefter.
Wow.
All right. Bill Belichick, the 8-time Super Bowl winning head coach, is not a first-ballot Hall of Famer per Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta Jr. Belichick fell short of the 40 out of 50 votes needed for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. How is that humanly possible? How?
It doesn't make sense.
How can somebody
on any level it makes
not
no sense.
Vote for Bill Belichick? I don't care if you hate him. I don't care if you're disgusted by his girlfriend. I don't care how you feel about him personally. What on his football resume tells you that he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer when he is literally in the conversation as the greatest football coach of all time? How?
Don, it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, correct?
Yes.
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yes.
All right, so whatever he did at North Carolina doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. No.
Right?
No.
It shouldn't factor in.
Shouldn't factor in.
So what, Ben, about his career? What about his career tells you, no, he shouldn't get my vote?
What they're going to tell you, not to get in these yo-yos.
Now, there were other coaches, I believe, right, that were on this list. I believe when we looked at the class, there were a couple of coaches. I thought we discussed this recently.
Yes. That were maybe in their last year of eligibility or had been on the ballot before, that maybe they feel like they want to get them in. But
that's all I could think of.
All right, but if you want to go the yo-yo route of, well, he never won a thing without Tom Brady, so I'm not going to put him in the Hall of Fame. Okay, well, let me ask you, how many Super Bowls did Noel win without Terry Bradshaw? All right. How many Super Bowls did Bill Walsh win without Joe Montana? Because when Steve Young won his Super Bowl, Walsh was already gone. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. It seems pretty short-sighted if you're just going to say, well, he never won nothing without Tom Brady. And the reason Tom Brady was still a Patriot was because of Bill Belichick. He decided to keep 4 quarterbacks because he saw something, didn't want to cut them. And also, we just talked about as a defensive coordinator, one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time. I mean, you can make a case he belongs in the Hall of Fame, just that alone, what he was able to do as a D coordinator, not just with the Giants in their 2 Super Bowls, but what he was able to do in New England when they went to the Super Bowl under Bill Parcells, and what he was able to do with the Jets in '98 when they went to the conference final. So you could say that he's got all those championships because of Tom Brady. Well, how do you explain his defensive acumen and what he was able to accomplish before he became a head coach? And also won a playoff game in Cleveland. Not too many coaches have done that in the last 50 years, have they?
No.
So maybe it's the semantics you said. I want to let somebody else in.
Done that.
What are we doing?
I am trying to find the finalist because I know that Belichick was one of the final. Oh, let's see. There were semifinalists in the coach category. Belichick was considered a finalist. So here, the 8 other semifinalists in the coach category were Tom Coughlin, Mike Holmgren, Chuck Knox, Buddy Parker, Dan Reeves, Marty Schottenheimer, George Seifert, and Mike Shanahan. Who on that list would you say Belichick has to wait because this guy's got to get it?
0. Now, again, I don't know, who's not going to be eligible anymore because they haven't gotten in. None of those guys. And listen, I love Tom Coughlin. I think Tom Coughlin's a Hall of Fame.
Oh, you know what? No. So does this? So this is not. So there's a contributor finalist, a coach finalist. Right. Then there's the senior finalists that all, and if I remember Gary saying, right, like it's that group then you choose from.
Right.
Right? There's 5 individual finalists for induction. So again, Kraft is 1, Belichick is 1, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, L.C. Greenwood. Maximum of 3 can be elected.
Of that list.
And you have to receive 80% approval.
And he got 40 of the 50.
Which means either no one else got more, Kraft is the only one out of this group maybe that got it.
Can we stop with the owners? Honestly, can we stop with the owners? I mean, if you want to have a separate category like you do with broadcasters, but honestly, you're a billionaire. I understand there are good owners and bad owners. We know that in New York, right? Like Woody Johnson's a bad owner. Robert Kraft is a great owner. But, like, when you start putting them in the Hall of Fame, they shouldn't be lumped in with the coaches and players. Like, stop it, all right? Just have a different category for them. Yeah, these are the billionaires that did a good job not screwing up their franchises, all right? Because, listen, that's what Robert Kraft does, okay? He's selected well in his hiring of coaches and executives in the franchise. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but honestly, when you start talking about football Hall of Fame, baseball, hockey, basketball, you start putting owners in. What are we doing?
But then again,
create a different wing for
somebody that's considered a voter, somebody that has given the privilege to vote. And it's not just media. You made a choice to not give him a vote. Most Super Bowl wins as a head coach, most Super Bowl appearances as a head coach, most playoff wins as a head coach, most playoff appearances as a head coach, most divisional championships as a head coach, 3rd all-time in wins. That's the resume. You might not like him. I can't possibly like him. He didn't even want to coach my team. He didn't want to be the HC of the NYJ.
Right.
And instead he went on to haunt them every time he could beat them. Right?
Now,
like you would think I should hate him and I should love this. This is insane. This is stupid.
Well, it's colossally stupid. And again, what he did as a defensive coordinator, won a playoff game in Cleveland, went 11-5 without Tom Brady. Remember? They didn't make the playoffs because it was a wacky year, but goes 11-5 without the Hall of Fame quarterback. I think Castle was the quarterback at the time, and wins 11 games. Very, very odd. 1-800-919-3776. We got this. We got the Knicks. We got the Jets. We've got so much going on until 6:30, and then it's Dan Grassa here on ESPN New York.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Listen, I know the mentality. You try to play through pain and walk it off. Push through one more day. But when it comes to neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that's a losing game. That's when you call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical solutions that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no dependence on pain meds. He builds you a custom game plan for you so that you can move better, feel better, and live pain-free. Same day or next day appointments are available. Visit SandwellPain.com. Stop managing pain, start beating it.
Who's ready to hit the ice? Get ready for another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. Starting to do better on the Grand Central eastbound in Queens. Over by LaGuardia, they picked up that yellow cab that hit a snowbank. Delays are starting to ease. Rough ride on the Cross Island southbound over by the UBS Arena. Crash in the right lane by Hempstead Turnpike. You're slammed from the Bayside Marina on down. LA eastbound, bumper to bumper in Nassau County. It's an accident over by Searingtown Road. Solid slowdowns there from New Hyde Park Road. Heading over the outbound, George looking really good on the southbound Deegan and Henry Hudson. West Side Highway northbound, pockets of delays from the 90s. Inbound George about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln and Holland Tunnels about 20 to 30 minutes each. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit MAD.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Now, the reaction to Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot has got people stirred up about the cheating. You've got the Spygate and Deflategate under Bill's watch. So now, all of a sudden, pro football is getting religion? When Major League Baseball just inducted Carlos Beltran, who led one of the biggest cheating scandals we've seen since forever in Major League Baseball, probably going back to the Black Sox scandal, right, of actual cheating. Gaylord Perry in the Hall of Fame cheated, spitballs for his career.
Yeah.
And that's Major League Baseball. Won't let in the steroid guys, but they look the other way with Gaylord Perry and Carlos Beltran. The NFL, who never seemed to give a hoot about steroids. You know Tom Brady's going to waltz into the Hall of Fame, even though he was the guy that was deflating footballs or telling them
or at
to
least
do it.
Allegedly, right.
I mean, that wasn't a Belichick scandal as much as Spygate was.
No, Spygate was.
Spygate was Belichick. Deflategate to me was Brady.
So
are they going to keep Brady out of the Hall of Fame?
So again, if this is what you're telling me, that this is, and you see in the Wickersham story that it's a Bill Polian or allegedly Bill Polian is like kind of like put out the suggestion of these things. Some guys weren't happy about it, and the whole thought was make him wait a year. That's his punishment for that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, so that now this is a popularity contest. It's not really.
Listen,
it's not really a Hall of Fame of like you're worthy of it. It's you know what, we didn't rock with you. We didn't really like you.
Isn't that how everything is dealt with as a popularity contest?
Yeah.
Because you look at the steroid era, right? Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens. They can't get in.
Yeah.
Weren't very likable guys.
Nope.
Maybe Sammy Sosa was, but then he kind of went off the rails.
But he was all over the map. Yeah, but those other guys were rough with the media.
Oh, but, Andy Pettitte, he did it because he wanted to help his team because everybody loves Andy Pettitte. And, of course, David Ortiz. No, he's got to go in the Hall of Fame.
Poppy, we love Poppy.
We love Big Poppy.
Look the other way.
Big Poppy never did anything wrong. Everything's fine. So they've proven it's a popularity contest there.
Yep.
And clearly it's a popularity contest here.
Yeah.
We don't like Bill, so we'll keep him out a year. We'll punish him. We'll slap him on the wrist for Spygate. But let's see if they make Tom Brady wait. Let's see if that happens, right? And never mind the fact that Belichick did a hell of a lot before Spygate and also won Super Bowls after Spygate.
Boy.
But no, we because Bill, he bothers us. We all wish we had a hot girlfriend like him. Let's punish him.
By the way,
Tom Brady will waltz right in.
Donnie, once she gets wind of this, do you think she goes off she just goes off the rails, scorched earth? That'll only make it worse, right?
Hey.
He's got to tell her, yo, chill. You got to chill, honey, chill.
Listen, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame eventually, right? So I think the reason it bothers me is the hypocrisy.
Yes.
Of how, some guys, it's fine. They did it to help their team. It was a misunderstanding. That report's wrong. And it's somebody you don't like, and we're going to hold them out forever.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Alex Rodriguez can eventually get in because he was a pariah when he got busted, and he's done a really good job PR-wise since then. Mm-hmm. So maybe some people will be won over by that. But it just shows you how all this stuff, everything, every walk of life, the likable get the benefit of the doubt, the unlikable don't. And when I'm putting somebody in the Hall of Fame, I'm not putting them in the Hall of Fame as a person. I'm not putting them in the Hall of Fame for the kind of friend they were, the talker they were, or any of that. You put them in based on their resume. And how do you not how do you make Bill Belichick wait a year with that resume?
Yeah. Did they make Shula wait?
Well, he didn't cheat with the Mud Bowl. I mean, they had home field advantage.
No, please.
What, please?
What? Oh, no.
They were the ones
don't put the tarp down. Don't put the tarp down. Let it rain. We need a muddy track.
He was
we can't
allowed
stop
to make
Freeman
that decision.
McNeil. Let's make this dude throw. Yeah.
He was allowed to make that decision.
How is that any different than deflating a football?
Because there's a rule against it.
Well, that's the problem. There wasn't a rule. But we all know that that was poor sportsmanship. And that again, I'll never forgive that. That's just as bad as deflating a football, Don. Just as bad.
But it's all
interfering with the
let's just say-
headset, all that
let's just-
stuff. It's all the same.
Let's just say, for sake of argument,
I'm never letting it go.
The Don Shula broke a rule and cheated. They would have waltzed into the Hall of Fame. They love Don Shula.
Of course,
People don't like Bill Belichick, right. And I'm listen. I could probably assume why, because he didn't seem like he didn't give you a lot of. So the media didn't love him.
He wasn't
I'm
a good old boy.
Yeah, he beat a lot of teams, humiliated a lot of teams, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy that he didn't succeed in North Carolina. Is going to sit and they're going to giggle in their little offices, right, with their oak desks. And we got him. He's got to wait a year. Meanwhile, you wish you had him. You wish you won at the clip that he won.
Yeah.
And all it stems from is jealousy.
Yeah, it is true. And by the way, if the story is accurate, which is it's hard to.
But those two guys, I bet.
Yeah, Wickersham and Van Natta, they know stuff, but like, boy, Bill Polian's got some major influence to affect votes like that.
Well,
so it says here, a voter who spoke on the condition of anonymity said that Polian, an ardent Kraft supporter and former general manager of the Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts, of course, a chief Patriots rival during their dynasty, told some voters he believed Belichick should, quote, wait a year, end quote, before induction as penance for Spygate, the 2007 cheating scandal that cost the team a first-round pick. Interesting, right?
Do they make Brady wait a year? I mean, they should, right? Well, what's any different, right? They were both involved in a gate. One was Spygate, one was Deflategate. Will they make Brady wait a year? I highly doubt it.
Because of Deflategate.
I highly doubt it.
We'll find out. But this is like you guys love to say reindeer game. This is reindeer games.
Well,
this is just like you're just doing it because you can. You're flexing a little bit.
I get.
But man, I didn't realize that Polian calls you and you're a voter and you're like, no, man, like what are you talking about? He belongs in. That's why clearly enough voters did at least vote for him.
Well,
but not enough.
Because there's a lot of people that don't like him. So it probably didn't take much twisting of the arm. Say, hey, here's your chance to get back at him. You're going to make him wait a year. Like, I don't know if Bill cares. I'm sure he wants to go to.
Is there some satisfaction? What's the satisfaction to that? It's so strange.
No,
what is the satisfaction?
I like to hate.
Got him
I'm
out.
a big hater from way back. My father taught me how to hate.
Who cares?
But when your reason for hating someone is because they win too much, you got to look in the mirror and just say, I got to be a better person. Like I've admitted on this air that my hatred for the Yankees is 100% solely based on the fact that I'm jealous of them. And that's how the hate manifests itself. And that's I could come up with reasons on this. Actually, Derek Jeter very likable.
Yeah,
Aaron Judge very likable. When I hated the Cowboys back in the day, it came from couldn't beat that damn team.
Yep.
I don't hate them nearly as much now, and they've gone 30 years without a Super Bowl. They become a lot less hateable when all of a sudden they're beatable. So when you ask yourself, are you that jealous? Are you that petty that you couldn't figure out a way to beat the guy? So you found the one little tiny weakness, and you're going to keep him out. And there were a lot of people that, because the consensus is that Eric Mangini blew the whistle on him for Spygate. That many people felt that Mangini was out of line because there were a lot of coaches that were doing the exact same thing, and that he did it out of jealousy and the rivalry of the Jets and the Patriots, which I get. Try to get any advantage you can, but at the time, it was maybe Mangini shouldn't have done that. And now you fast forward, and it's going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame for a year, but probably won't keep Brady out. I guarantee you that.
No, but to make him wait a year.
Let me ask you something. You think Sean Payton's going to have to wait a year?
I was thinking that, and then I'm wondering, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Well, I think if he eventually wins with Denver, he's won a Super Bowl in New Orleans, he's a hell of a coach.
No, there's no question.
He may not go in the first ballot.
He might not be a first ballot anyway, but you're right that Bountygate is to me, that's more egregious. As bad as Deflategate and the spy stuff on That stuff's bad. I get it. But the bounty thing, and you're overseeing it to a point where you had to take a year off, like that's pretty bad.
It's something. It's interesting. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Kevin out on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Kev?
Hey, Don, Alan, how you guys doing?
What's up,
Good, buddy?
Long time, first time.
Excellent.
Love you guys. Me and my 2 kids and my wife, we listen to you guys all day long. We love it. It ends our day perfectly.
Where are you on the island?
Valley Stream, or as I like to call it, Valley Queens.
Right on the border. Right on the border. You got it.
Yeah. So anyways, big Yankee fan, big Ranger fan, all that and everything. But Don, I know it's not Fraud Friday. I just got a question to ask, since it's the first time I've ever gotten through and tried to call numerous times. I know it's not Friday, but I grew up on Long Island, and my uncle, he went to college in Lemoyne, up by Syracuse there, right?
Right.
So he became the athletic director at the college there and ended up, becoming friends with Boeheim or whatever. So every time when I was a kid, I would be, for birthdays and Christmas, I would get Syracuse swag. So I grew up a Syracuse fan here on Long Island, even though I had no blood in the water there or anything. Am I a fraud for being a Syracuse fan living out here on Long Island?
And where did you go to school?
I did. I went to Nassau Community College.
You're not a fraud.
No.
No, I mean, you had a reason to root for them. You gave a nice detailed description of why. You didn't go to a school that had any kind of sports program. I don't sense any fraud. And it's not weird to me either. Like these people that become diehard college fans that never went there or didn't have any kind of ties to the school, that interests me in being a little weird. But his story doesn't sound weird to me at all.
No, and by the way, just
fraud.
For the record, Nassau Community College used to have an unbelievable football program.
A community college?
Yeah, Nassau back in the day.
It's 2-year school, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable football program. In fact, there is some historic. There's some historic connection between Nassau. They've sent some guys on to big-time college football.
Interesting.
Yep.
But that didn't seem to sway him. He still decided.
No, I don't think it would have affected him in any way.
And it sounds like just basketball. I don't think he had any love for the football program.
I guess not.
No,
but just
no
throwing it out there,
just
for the record.
No, I did not. I didn't know you could have a football program in a 2-year college.
No, they did. Junior college. Junior college. There was a time where junior college was, your way in sometimes if right out of high school you weren't ready.
No,
grades wise or other reasons. So
it makes a lot of sense. 1-800-919-3776. ENN and Anthony Pusick-led vehicles coming up at 6, and then Dan Gross at 6:30 here on ESPN New York.
25th ranked St. John's looks to make it 7 in a row when they host Butler at MSG. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on the ESPN New York app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
What if your instincts could pay off?
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite awards show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. And get this, if you're a new customer, all you have to do is bet $5, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. So this is your last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Must be 21 and older and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Step inside the game you love with the NBA app. Tap to watch every game as it's happening.
Jalen Brunson does it again!
And never miss a moment of the jaw-dropping action. Get closer to the players than anywhere else. Follow the latest schedules, scores, and stats. Keep up with every story from across the league. And with NBA ID, it's all personalized to you. The game lives here. Download today.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Well, Donnie, we've got some pissed off people in the NFL, in media and former players.
Go ahead.
Our good friend Booger McFarland, who we'll have on tomorrow, he called this so just joining us. Bill Belichick, according to a ESPN report, will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He did not get enough votes to be in this year's class, and it is some suggestion from some sources that it's almost punish him, make him wait a year because of Spygate that he oversaw when he was with the Patriots. Booger McFarland said, it's a disgrace to the game of football for this to happen. Our good friend Chris Carlin, beyond absurd. We have Ralph Facciano, more proof that the voting system is badly in need of reforms. Dan Graziano said it many times, we'll say it again, the Pro Football Hall of Fame voting process is monumentally stupid and should take much more annual grief than it does. J.J. Watt. I can't be reading this right. This has to be some other Hall of Fame.
Well,
and by the way, Peter King was told about it. He did not vote this year. And Peter King was spitting out expletives when he heard that Belichick did not get in.
So the list of people that you gave,
yes,
and correct me if I'm wrong, are media and competitors.
Yes.
It wasn't like
right.
you were talking to former Patriots, who, of course, are going to back Belichick, you would think, right? Because they won those championships. So, if there was a quote from any of them, I'd say, all right, maybe they're coming from a place of bias. But, not Booger McFarland, not J.J. Watt.
Mm-mm. No, they wouldn't have any reason at all to say anything other than, whether they agree or not. It's here's J.J. Watt, more of J.J. Watt. There's not a single word whatsoever in which Bill Belichick should not be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Now, I am not for the whole punishment stuff.
Shefty's saying that he talked to an NFL executive who said the 10-plus people who didn't vote for Belichick should be exposed.
Yeah. And be told why. And if you're telling me he cheated. The thing about the steroid deal is that you could make the case, certainly. Would those players have been Hall of Famers if not taking the PEDs? And if the answer is no, then you don't let them in. Not punish them because they took it. Say, well, it skews my judgment of that player that they took performance-enhancing drugs. Performance-enhancing. Their performance was enhanced. Is there anybody in the world that believed that Belichick wouldn't win those Super Bowls anyway? Now, the argument would be, well, why did he do it, Don? Well, he did it because other players, it probably gave him an advantage, sure. Other coaches did it. But do you look at Bill Belichick as a guy that the reason he won those championships was because he had Spygate for a few of those seasons? Now, if you want to tell me, yeah, Tom Brady, okay, that I can wrap my mind around that one. And it was illegal, and he was punished for it. He was fined. The organization lost draft picks. Just like I think Tom Brady would have been just fine had the balls not been deflated.
Yeah.
But they want to punish him because they don't like him. So let's see if those same 10 vote no for Tom Brady in a couple of years when he's eligible.
Polian really, again, this is a bad look for Bill Polian if that report, if again, the source that Wickersham and Van Natta talked to, that's a voter, suggested that Polian was kind of like working the room about how we got to make him wait a year because, again, what does that say? And what does it say about you? And then would not comment or would not return a call on a comment. That kind of already now starts implicating you as, well, you got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Because I know if it was me and I didn't say it, the first thing I'd do is pick up the phone. No. That story's bogus. I did not do that. I would never do that. But instead, say nothing, and your silence sort of implicates you a little bit here. I don't love this at all for all parties. Because Polian's a respected guy. And again, Belichick is, whether you like him or not, you can't deny his long-term success. This is not like, hey, he had a good run for 4 years, but we found out he cheated. This guy was...
Right, and then when the tank after we discovered it.
Right, exactly. I mean, come on.
It's
very bizarre.
Well, it's bizarre, and also the fact that Polian twisted the arm of some voters doesn't mean the voters have to listen. So what deal is being made?
Well, that's the part is where are you trying to curry favor? Are you trying to...
Exactly.
I hate this stuff, man.
Well, this
Just
is
can't
why.
stand it.
But and for people that don't know, each team is represented by a writer in that room, and then you have, I think, 8 to 10. Gary Myers always reminds me, and I forget, that are national. And then, like when Lawrence Taylor had to get into the Hall of Fame, Vinny DiTrani was the guy that represented the Giants as their reporter, and he had to convince all the other voters to look past his drug use and put him in the Hall of Fame. And he was able to convince them and do it. But, because that was back in the day where, maybe you didn't watch every game. We have the ability now to see every game. There might have been a guy that didn't go under the radar because they didn't play on Monday Night Football or weren't a playoff team. But now we have the ability to watch and see how good these players are. Make up your own mind. Don't have an executive for a favor later on. Hey, vote for my guy down the road. Don't vote for Bill this time. That stuff's going on.
Absolutely.
And that means it's all compromised, and which means it's all BS.
Yeah, again, and it also, by the way, it's a Hall of Fame, and we do put a lot into it. But when you see the process of all this stuff, sometimes it does make you kind of shake your head like it's popularity.
Yeah,
contest.
it feels like it's a bit of a
We know
scam.
who belongs there, right? To wait a year, what does that do?
Listen, at the end of the day, the whole first ballot, second ballot stuff, he's going to be there. He's going to get his day in the Hall of Fame, but it will be odd that he didn't get the first ballot, one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coaches of all time in pro football. Let's go to Fred on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Fred? We lost Fred?
We lost Fred, yes. We have a Knicks call or a Giants and Knicks call.
All right, Jared in the truck. You're on ESPN New York.
Hey, Don. Hey, Hahn. How are you guys doing today?
Good. And you?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. I've been a long-time listener and first-time caller. But you guys are always great and have great points. I was just reaching out to you guys about I had a couple points on the Knicks and the Giants, and then the Super Bowl. With the Giants, I believe they did right in hiring Jim Harbaugh, and I believe that they're from a real perspective, I believe that their floor is probably maybe 9 games for what they can win next year, but I believe their ceiling, if everything falls right like it did for the Patriots, could be the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's a lot. But
that's optimism.
Hey, well, it happened with New England, right? We're unfortunately up against it, so sorry that we can't get to your Knicks point, but hey, listen, from your lips to God's ears, as they say, but that's and it happened in New England, but that's pretty bold. But I do think the 8.5 is interesting. I do think they could be playing meaningful games in December, and I would not be shocked if they were a wild card team. But Super Bowl, not ready to say that yet. What I'm ready to say is coming up next, it's Anthony Pusick.
Yeah.
With ENN right here on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel, folks. One final Sunday, one final kickoff. The last chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So, whether you're backing the Pats, the Seahawks, it makes no difference. Ride the underdog, go with the favorite, make a parlay, make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football's officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 and over, physically present in New York. First online, real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM844-681, MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit, ends 2/2/26.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night. Get home safe and quick. We've got the Knicks home over at MSG. Best bet into Midtown right now. Stick with mass transit. Definitely don't want the east side of town. FDR southbound over by East 71st. Emergency road work. You're down to 1 lane. Traffic is not moving much there from the Triborough Bridge. Still have this crash on the LIE eastbound in Nassau County. Right lane out by Searingtown Road. Bumper to bumper there from Lakeville Road. Heaviest ride to the outbound George Cross Bronx westbound, you're packed from the Bronx River Parkway on through. Inbound George, just about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln already about 15 to 20. Outbound Hahn still close to a half hour. Over in Jersey, Devils are home tonight at the Rock in Newark. Lots of extra company on 280 heading over to 21 in the Stickle Drawbridge. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right, pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is an ENN Special Report. Now reporting...
the very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports.
Do what you want. It's ENN.
Well, as you hear, it is time now for ENN, brought to you by Ramsey Mazda. No Peter Rosenberg today. Instead, filling in, we have the great Anthony Pusick.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Alan. I appreciate that. Hey, Don.
Hello.
Nice to have you back.
Nice to be back.
How's everybody doing?
Nah.
You suck, Pusick. I know.
Isn't it supposed to be back on East Coast time, Donnie?
No, not even East Coast time. Just not Canada. Because this is a much more easy connection situation than we've had in Canada.
If people knew the hoops that we had to jump through to get the show on the air.
Anthony is so chill right now.
Oh.
Isn't he, though?
This is a great week.
He's so chill.
Now, granted, one of my hosts is flying to Saudi Arabia for a very important event, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which can be seen on the mothership this weekend. ESPN, pay-per-view, it's a live event. Now, of course, WrestlePalooza, as Peter mentioned to us before he left, was the taste of what ESPN can bring. The Royal Rumble, for anybody that is a wrestling fan, was a wrestling fan, even may not be a wrestling fan, that is something that everybody knows and that you could just enjoy as a fan of watching entertainment, because that is always fun to see 30 men, 30 women try and be the last man or woman standing. And it will be in Riyadh this weekend, and Peter, of course, will be part of the coverage. And you'll be seeing him, Don, I don't even know if you know this, you'll be seeing him a lot this week on some of our ESPN platforms.
Oh, good.
Yeah, here, Get Up, First Take. They're all going to want a little bit of Peter Rosenberg.
Which is really all you get.
Oh.
Let's be honest.
We also have now No Face Allen. Wait.
Oh, wait. Yeah, what happened
We're
there?
getting it
Where
back.
did Don go?
I don't know where Don went. That was really fun to see, though.
You could still hear me, though, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
We hear you,
I don't know why all of a sudden I disappeared. It says establishing connection.
Well, you just faded the black.
Yeah, Donnie is a black square.
So that's okay. We'll make it work.
Oh, no.
We got one of Alan's ears. If you're listen, I'm sorry to the people that are not watching on YouTube, but I would advise you,
are missing
to
something
go
special.
back. And by the way, just so everybody knows, if you're not catching this live, that's fine. We have the full video of the show, of all our shows, from 6 to 7 here on ESPN New York on our YouTube channel.
Really good show.
So make sure you go take a look at that. Also, hit a like, subscribe. You could be a part of the chat, our very lively chat, if you do subscribe. Steve Brzezinski's in there right now. Black Metronome, I see, who's always
shout out
in the chat. So shout out to the chat. Always nice to see you guys. And it's 6:04. Now is an appropriate time to start my good evenings. I'll say good evening to Don.
You pooped yourself. That's what you did.
That's right. Don again.
Your team is dumb. It's functional dumb.
Now, while I did not dump anything from that rant, those are the only drops I was told I can make from it. So take that what you will.
Oh, wow.
And good evening to Alan,
who spoke on the condition of anonymity.
That's not nice.
Well, I got to tell you.
Remember Finding Nemo? And then
Don, you weren't here for this. Me and Jacob did a lot of work during the Snow Monday.
Right.
And we have a group of 64 for Drop Madness.
I saw the text.
Now, that does not mean that it is official.
No.
There are still, I would say, as I pointed out yesterday, seeds 10 through 16 in all the regions should be concerned. And after seeing a quad 1 win like this,
who spoke on the condition of anonymity,
I think there'll be a change to Joe Lenardi's bracketology next week.
You think that's a quad 1?
Oh, listen.
Who spoke on the condition of anonymity? You got to play the Nemo thing after it, though, to make it. Don't hurt yourself.
Welcome aboard, Explorer. As we await Don's face again, let's try and discuss something that was on the top of Alan's mind always, and that's Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy was introduced today as the Steelers head coach. And
You're
the
welcome.
question that everybody wanted to know is, would you want Aaron Rodgers back, Coach?
Definitely. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. But, I think just like anything, knowing Aaron long enough, going through seasons, I think when players, to see Mel Blunt here, when guys are up at that stage of their career, they need to step away and decompress it. I think that's very important. The game is so emotional, what these men commit to and what they put into it. I think that time away is important. And I have spoken to Aaron, and that's really where we are there. But I was able to sit back and watch the games. I watched most of the Pittsburgh games on TV, and I thought he was a great asset for the team.
All right,
there's your answer. He back.
Let me ask
think so?
this.
Oh my God!
Yeah, well, if he wants
he already
to
spoke
play,
to him.
Yeah, he's coming back, get a chance to play with the coach that won him his only Super Bowl. And I wonder.
You ever wonder?
You're a team that could have hired a coach. And you decided, Mike McCarthy, maybe he's too slovenly, hasn't won a Super Bowl in a long time. And then you see the organization that literally is better than anyone on the planet at selecting coaches. There is not an organization in professional sports that is better at picking coaches than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And they just picked Mike McCarthy. Are they sitting there going, oh, boy, maybe we should have taken a little bit of a deeper look at Mike, because the team that got it right every time, 3 straight times for 57 years, maybe we screwed up.
I don't know.
Do we think that Mike McCarthy will get more out of Aaron Rodgers than Arthur Smith did, who is going to, I believe, be the OC in Ohio State? I believe I saw that.
I don't know if he gets more out of Rodgers, because I think you got as much out of Rodgers as you can.
But if you get the same,
but he wasn't terrible,
and he can fix the run defense, which was a killer for them.
The problem, right?
Why can't they win this division? The Ravens just lost their head coach. Cleveland haven't even hired their new head coach yet.
Cleveland is Cleveland.
Cleveland's Cleveland.
Well, Jim Schwartz is getting the job out of just because he's the only man standing.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And then
it's like, hey, you want this
Cincinnati's
job? Nobody else wants it. All right, I'll take it.
And Cincinnati is what they are.
Yeah.
A team that potentially could be good, but it feels like they're in a downward spiral here. So I kind of like Mike McCarthy's chances of getting Pittsburgh to at least what they did this past year and cleaning some things up that stopped them from winning a couple of playoff games.
It's pretty amazing that we're talking about the same player, because here was Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike talking about what Steelers players felt about Rodgers this year.
The team has left it open all along. During the players' exit interviews, almost to a man, the players vowed for Aaron Rodgers. And I think people have underestimated and not realized how much respect he had in that locker room and how well received his season there was. The players there loved him. And I think that the majority of them want him back next year. Yeah. And the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and made their hire because they believed that Mike McCarthy was the right coach for the job, period. The fact that there is a connection to Aaron Rodgers is a bonus. It's not why they hired him, but I don't think it hurts.
Boy, that is not the quarterback that left the New York Jets.
Well, outside of Garrett Wilson, I didn't hear any rumblings that he wasn't liked in the Jets room. Did you?
I suppose you're right.
Most of the guys seem to like him.
But I there wasn't like this clamoring to keep him either, right? The Jets thing was it wasn't the same. Now, in the first year, he was extremely popular.
Right.
and even after the injury, him coming around, and there was a lot of that. I think once they just started to realize what he was about, which of course he loves him some him.
Wow.
I think some guys kind of got soured to it.
Maybe.
But in Pittsburgh, no, he was different there, and I would say Mike Tomlin's presence had a lot to do with it.
Or maybe they liked Aaron so much, they're like, Aaron, run. we can't run. You can run. Run to Pittsburgh.
Well, it looks like Brian Dable may have a new home, and it is not at head coach. He is going to be joining another former New York coach, Robert Saleh, down in Tennessee to be the offensive coordinator for Cam Ward.
How about this?
Sources are saying that is finalized. There was a belief that Dable would hold out for the possibility of getting the Raiders head coaching job. There are sources indicating that is not the case. He's been with Tennessee all day, and he will take the OC job there. Could you imagine, Don, if this works out?
It could, but I will say this, and I'll try to coach you up, Anthony, with the answer.
Oh.
In recent vintage, what was one of the worst football games you ever saw? I'm going to tell you what it was.
Okay.
When the Jets played the Giants a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I was.
Remember that game?
I was still working the Jet broadcast at that point.
They were two teams fighting with like loaded baby diapers. The two head coaches of that game are now together on the same team.
I'll say this: I don't think, other than the complete disinterest seemingly by Brian Dable for Daniel Jones, I think he can run an offense, and I think he can develop a young quarterback. So Cam Ward, I believe, has a great chance to succeed.
I am a Tennessee fan now. Like I like Robert Saleh. I want him to be successful. I
agree.
With all the issues I had with Brian Dable as a head coach, I think he's an excellent OC. So I think it could work. I think it can. In all seriousness, I think it could work.
And Saleh will leave him alone. You run the offense. I got nothing to say.
You know, I'm sure Brian will leave Saleh alone. They might not say two words to each other.
Yeah, they might barely talk to each other, and that's perfect. And Cam Ward in this equation also fits too, because he fits both guys, right? For Dable, he is somebody that will play the way that he wants a quarterback to play. He's got the athleticism and he's got the arm. He's got everything that Dable loves to work with. And on the other side with Saleh, Cam Ward's made of the right kind of stuff. Like they've talked about the leadership quality, the character of him. There's a lot of things about him I think that Saleh also will love. So for the two of them, they're in a good situation, and it's just interesting to see, can they come together and help a franchise that has lost their way after they let Vrabel walk? Can they get that back on track before either the New York teams get back on track?
We had a little Dropkick Murphys going on in the background there, Don. What was going on at the Rock?
Oh, that's right. Getting all ready for John McClane night.
That's what it sounded like to me. It's been good today. I think they went early with the horn, Allen, because keep in mind, it's like 4:40, not like 5:17.
Yeah,
they've been off for a week. They really wanted to make sure it worked.
Well, no, because, they haven't, and it's not like they get to hit it that often when they are playing.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Well,
okay.
100, you're tied for 28th in goals scored. I'm just saying.
Put that one out on social media.
I'm not doing anything of the sort.
No, don't bury me.
There is nothing better than, I always protect you, Donald. There is a home game against the Jets after a long break. This is a very nice, not that the Devils need to get right, but it's a game that you have to feel comfortable with the fact that A, you should probably be able to score, and B, you should probably be able to win.
Well, we'll see. And on that note, it's been a beautiful show.
Oh, that's it?
I'm hoping my voice holds up because it was a long trip. So I hope they test me a bunch of times, and I'll be on the pregame. So listen, I'll be with Rachel talking about my memories of John McClane.
I imagine
where I was when Johnny Mack scored the overtime goal against Darren Pang.
Got to hear that story. We got to record that so we can play it tomorrow.
I imagine Devils fans can catch the ceremony on MSG Network, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So they will be airing that, and then of course Donnie and Kenny with Bryce will have the call at 7.
Thank you. I love both of you, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Donnie.
That's a drop.
Alan, what? That he's going to be on?
No. Jake, did you hear that?
Well,
no.
I heard the love you both, and I was totally excluded. That's the one I heard.
Well, he did say both.
Well, listen,
unless he was talking to you two.
I think there's still some animosity there, Jacob. Let's be honest.
No, the what was it? See you tomorrow, Donnie? Anthony and I said it at the exact same time. In unison.
We're so in sync. I'm trying to make sure that only not your ear is showing. There's a lot. Listen, when this show moves, we got a lot. We're gonna technical direct in the middle of it. Let's see. Can I get Alan?
Let me go like right.
Maybe go like that.
If we
Maybe
do that. That's
do that.
I've never looked better.
No. We're getting there. We are getting there. Oh, there we go. That's not terrible.
I think this is a good angle. Right there.
Right with the camera in the face. Let's see.
That works.
Just in case anybody's like, hey, how do you always get like the camera shots like right? This is it. You're watching it in real time right now.
You are literally
right
having
there
to
we
do
go.
all of that
That's
stuff and host ENN. Look at you.
That's better. So, this is interesting. I don't know if you saw this, Alan.
What that?
Aaron Judge, for the second time, will be on the cover of MLB The Show. It was released earlier today.
Right.
It's the second time that he's on. He's sporting as the American League MVP. He's wearing a Yankee jersey and on the cover, Team USA jersey.
I like that.
The last time he was on the cover was MLB The Show 18. It's only the second player to make the cover of MLB The Show more than once. The other is Joe Mauer. He's on the cover in back-to-back 2010, 2011.
What's up, All Rise?
Now, the show 18 was coming off the 2017 season.
That is correct.
That's right.
Yep.
What I don't like is the result of the 2018 season.
It is not at the level of the Madden curse.
It's not the Madden curse?
It's not the level of the Madden curse.
But
you still got to have some level of worry.
Trying
to remember who it was. Last year I didn't buy it. I think it was.
Last year it was like 3 players. It was like Ellie De La Cruz. It was
Oh, they put multiple?
Yeah, it was like I forgot the other two, but it was Ellie De La Cruz.
Jazz was the cover athlete in 2023.
Okay.
Vlad Jr. was the cover athlete in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even see who was the cover athlete in 25. So there you go.
112 games
it was,
in
Paul
2018.
It was Paul Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz, and I think it's Adley Rutschman.
Okay, so by the way, that worked out for two of them. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
The Orioles struggled, but it worked out pretty well for Ellie. Ellie had a nice year, and Paul Skeens is doing okay for himself.
This is how Judge followed up that, of course, that outstanding in 2017 that got him on the cover, is he went from 52 home runs to 27. He went from 155 games to 112.
Great.
Yeah.
Now,
don't love this.
Jacob
he was an all-star.
Jacob and I were talking about this. Now, me, of course, being a Yankee fan, I'm like, well, I gotta buy this game like back in the old days. But really, you don't really buy the cover anymore. You just download it on your console. So I don't know. I don't usually play the show.
Again,
so
it's been years for me since I have been in the video game world where I cared like that.
Zach's big on it.
Yeah, but he's Chell. Like he doesn't
know.
really play anything other than Chell.
Makes sense.
So that's his whole world. But again, for me, I remember how important it was. Like when you got the game, the covers, all that stuff.
NHL.
How much that mattered.
I think it was NHL 14. Brodeur was on the cover. Me and my buddy in college ripped off the cover, and we just played the game. And I can say that now because Don's not here, so it's safe. It's a safe space to say that. I think we printed out a Panarin cover. Actually,
I thought you said you put it up on the wall and you just throwing darts at it.
No, not to that level. Not to that level. But
nobody has a dartboard anymore, do they? Like when we talk about this stuff, you have a dartboard in your dorm room.
Not in the dorm room.
Nobody does that anymore.
I don't think so.
Put up a picture and you just throw darts at it.
But maybe I'll splurge the $70 or whatever they're going to charge me to buy MLB The Show this year. One of the reasons that Brian Daboll probably took the OC job with the Titans is because I would imagine his dream job was taken earlier in the day. Joe Brady promoted from OC to head coach, which makes sense. Keep Josh Allen happy for sure. I think you're going to need a defensive coordinator. You lost Sean McDermott, who was your head coach, and probably had a lot to say about the defense.
Right.
So I would imagine, especially with the way they played this year, you're going to want a better defensive structure around that team. But Joe Brady makes a heck of a lot of sense, and it keeps Josh Allen happy.
It does, but what's interesting is if Joe Brady is taken over as the head coach, which means he'll still run the offense, and so you would think you'd want somebody running the defense that you can just leave on their own, get an upgrade in that position, right? Because, again, McDermott was more a defensive guy, but the rumors are that Jim Leonard, who would be an inexperienced defensive coordinator, is kind of the lead candidate here. So it doesn't exactly fit what you would think they would do, but they also need to do a better job with their roster, and that's a
last I checked, they're not changing the GM. So.
No, clearly.
We'll
see.
For just the fourth time in these franchises' histories, the New York Rangers and New York Islanders have made a trade. Defenseman Carson Soucy, who was left out of the game last night for quote-unquote roster management.
Sure.
Has been traded to the Island for a third-round pick, which is essentially what the Rangers traded for him just last year. So, Allen, a veteran defenseman for your New York Islanders, and the Rangers have started what they're calling their retool and dumping a veteran defenseman.
If the Islanders, they need the depth, certainly Pulock has been out, and they always seem to have that kind of injury thing there. Right? Soucy does a little bit of everything. When he's at his best, right, he can kill a penalty. He can get you points. Like he's not like it's not a star, but this is depth, and you need this if you're trying to make a run. The Islanders have to add some pieces to their team, both sides, but especially at forward, they'll hopefully address that. I can't believe this is only the fourth time that they have traded with each other.
And none of the trades, I was looking at them earlier today, none of them are exactly groundbreaking trades.
Well,
one of them.
Give me a taste. What's some other? All right, after this, then there was. So how long's it been since the last time these two franchises traded with each other?
2010.
Okay, so that's 15 years, 16 years.
Defenseman Jiri Niemi went to the Rangers for a 2010 sixth-round pick.
Who'd that become?
You know what? I couldn't even tell you. They didn't even bother. NHL Trade Tracker has a lot of this stuff. I'm sure I could go do the math and go look up the 2010 NHL draft and see what sixth-round pick the Islanders got via the Rangers ended up being. Jacob, I think, is taking a look at it right now. The next one, 1972.
What?
Ron Stewart was traded
Ron Stewart.
to the Icelanders for cash. Rangers needed cash, and they got it. And then, of course, the first one was the first one that could have occurred because it was 1972 during the expansion draft to protect their roster. The Rangers traded the Islanders a 1973 7th and 8th round pick, which to my knowledge, I didn't even know there were that many rounds. But back then, because there were less teams, I'm sure, you needed more rounds. So 7th and 8th round pick, those are the 4 trades that have ever occurred. And quite frankly, not that I don't remember Jiri Niemi much or Ron Stewart, this might end up being the most impactful because this is a veteran defenseman in Carson Soucy that could probably help this Islanders team out that's very young on the blue line. And at his best, he's a serviceable defenseman, could play on a team's top 4. It'd be a pretty thin top 4. But it is not a player the Rangers needed anymore by any stretch of the imagination. And I think it does speak to Chris Drury. I believe Carson Soucy had a 12-team no-trade list. The Islanders were not on it. And after all of what transpired with Barclay Goodrow, Jacob Trouba, Chris Kreider, Carson Soucy missed a game last week, Alan, because he just had another baby. I think probably staying in this area was probably something he'd like to do.
Probably did the right thing by him, right?
And probably did. I'm not going to say that Carson Soucy would have went for a second-round pick. I don't think that was happening. But to keep him in the area where he probably doesn't have to move with a newborn and stay on the island is probably a good thing for Soucy and for Drury, and probably gives him some good graces after probably, I think a lot of people were feeling sour about the way certain things ended with certain players. So that's a good sign for the Rangers.
Yeah. Ron Stewart, by the way, he played a ton in the NHL, over 1,000 games, mostly for the Maple Leafs. By the time he got to the Islanders that year, that was his final season. He played 11 games for the Rangers and then was traded to the Islanders. He played 22 games there, and that was it. And he coached the Kings for one season.
Down the rabbit hole we go, by the way.
There you
Alan.
go. You're welcome.
The 6th-round pick.
Oh, yeah,
that
I
the
saw
Rangers,
this too.
It was traded to the now defunct Atlanta Thrashers.
No, they're funked.
Well,
they're just not in Atlanta.
What would you call it then? City defunct? They're not in the city anymore. So I'm gonna go. Wikipedia actually does a pretty good job. As I scroll, who?
So they traded that pick to Atlanta to get a 5th-round pick in the following year.
Yeah,
so who was the 5th-round pick?
So they traded a 5th-round pick in 2011 with Brendan Kitchen, which was that pick.
What about Freddie?
6th-round pick in 2010 was
Tanner Lane.
Yeah, Tanner Lane and Kendall McFall were the 2.
Sure, absolutely. Good,
all right.
No
good
clue
for them.
On that note, as everybody's eyes glaze over, that's ENN. Alan, please tell me who it was brought to us by.
That is a fantastic ENN. We finished it with the rabbit hole stuff, which we all love to do. And that ENN by Anthony Pusick was brought to you by Ramsey Mazda. Get more for your money at Ramsey Mazda, like a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 or a Mazda CX-90. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. This is where I step out now. Don is heading over to do his duties with the Devils pregame and post, and, of course, calling the game, Devils on MSG. I'm also heading over to the Garden across the street to do the Knicks game tonight on MSG. Dan Grassa, kind enough to take over and take you all the way up to Knicks coverage. So thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home